theater. Boom!
Boom! There goes der pumpkin. How's it going?
Flurgadoo.
Well, mine was German and yours was Swedish, and
It's going well. How are you, Cap?
doing great. There was some thought that maybe this week we would also have a manifesto.
But stupid Google Docs got in the way.
Yeah. Well, also,
Imagine password protecting your own manifesto.
No shit. It's like
Well,
you can't just share the link. You got to change the permissions.
I guess this one was a confirmed manifesto.
Yeah, manifesto. Well, I mean, I don't even think that. I don't think
Wait,
she even claimed. I don't even think she claimed otherwise. Yeah, it is a little bit of a scum thing. But it's. And then also, I guess there's the guy who shot 3 people, 2 dogs, and failed to get to Nick Fuentes. But I don't know if I don't even know if he managed to write anything about it. or if he just like posted on Reddit and
We can't.
was like gonna do something, guys. Give me up, dudes.
Thanks, handsome stranger, or whatever they say.
Do they say that?
I
don't
have
know.
no idea. I've been on Reddit twice.
What the fuck is a Reddit? Yeah. So this is so true. This is I'm gonna put it up there, not because it's true, but because it's funny. And
Well,
I'm
it
gonna
is
put
funny
this one
because
up, not because it's funny, but because it's true. The TR and TR Hudson stands for trans rights. That now you know. You heard it here first.
It's funny. I was going to change that for April Fools.
Trans rights Hudson.
Yeah,
You're gonna change the yellow background of your Soviet propaganda poster
to a flag,
picture
yeah.
to a Troon flag.
Yeah,
That would have been pretty good.
I thought about doing that, but I was like, I don't have that many followers. Like, it wouldn't be. It just
No one
wouldn't.
would know.
Yeah, no one would know.
Everyone would be like, "Wait, how the fuck am I following this account?" So actually, so speaking of April Fools, I guess this is technically our Christmas episode because we will not be on next week, thanks to the celebration of the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the nativity in general. So, and also seeing family and the marketing expertise of the Coca-Cola company. Thanks for giving us Santa Claus.
Right. It was the Coca-Cola company and not
Coca-Cola company.
Other things.
Not other things. Not every single time. No, but the best of the Christmas holidays against which all other Christmas holidays are judged. The reason for the existence of other Christmas holidays, people wouldn't mention Hanukkah. Not even Jews would mention Hanukkah if it wasn't for Christmas. No one would give a shit about Diwali. Diwali's not even in the winter. It's closer to Halloween, but they talk about it because the Hindus want to have something for themselves. The closest
for themselves in their country. They can have India.
They can have all of Bharat. Hindutva requires you to return. It literally does. You have to go back. And Kwanzaa obviously was a CIA op that we can talk about at some point, maybe. But this week we're gonna talk about another CIA op. Maybe.
Now, I did want to bring up a tangential CIA op. I have my Roman Empire this week. So the Challenger.
The Challenger, the space shuttle Challenger?
Yes, the space shuttle Challenger, the so-called disaster.
Okay.
If you are one of those guys that believes that it actually blew up and killed all those people on there, which, I can be swayed one way or the other depending on the day. Do you know who actually is behind the shuttle explosion?
I don't know.
Well,
some kind of grinning merchant?
No. You wish, but no. It's perhaps our oldest rival. It is, of course, the bird.
Big Bird?
Well, no, and that's the thing is that did you know that Cape Canaveral is in the path of several migratory bird paths?
Okay.
Right.
Okay, you think so you're saying that
Big Bird got a call. Al Franken got a call before 9/11. Big Bird got a call, don't go onto that rocket. Who would have saved Big Bird?
Who would have saved Big Bird? That's a good question. I mean, virtually anyone is the actual answer, but also who would have had the knowledge to do so?
I'm telling you, it's birds.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, the O-rings got cold. Sure. Okay.
Oh my God. Is this the actual Is this the actual ampersand? Is this Hartley? Are you not only doing well, are you in the chat? Because if so, welcome, brother. It is good to see
Oh,
you
is that the
alive and kicking.
4chan magazine guy?
Yes, it is. Yeah, a wonderful magazine that you should all check out.
Yeah, no,
Ampersand Amp.
I've thought
It's
about doing that several times before moving on to other things.
let's see. I don't know if I don't. I didn't even know if the website's still up. Actually, sorry. I'm gonna live check this. Oh, it's not. Oh no. Amp by Lit. Or Lamp. Oh, it's Lamp by Lit, isn't it? Damn. Hold on. Oh, it so is. All right, I'm putting this in the chat. It's going in the chat. You're all gonna see it here. Lamp by
As
Lit.
a
Check out the
fellow
magazine. Not
fellow
right now.
magazine connoisseur and
Coin,
proprietor.
a real coin sewer
Hello,
you are.
Mr. Ant and Amp. Good evening to you.
He is Hartley, good man, a good man and thorough.
And thorough.
All right. Anyway, enough with the chitty chat and the warm reunions. Let's get on. Let's get on with it.
And we just want to, before we do get on chat, we did take your threats seriously. I don't think Tuesdays are going to happen again. You were very mad about that.
They were mad, and also the Prudentialist said that he had somehow figured out where I live and was going to send a man with a crossbow. So,
oh no,
it's funny because I have a gun.
So did he? The guy had 2 guns. He brought a gun and
then he also had a crossbow.
And then he was like, "Oh, let me loot dump real quick and pull out my side piece."
You know what? I'd really, he could carry 2. He could carry 2 guns right in his active slots, but then he could just pick one up by pressing E. And so the crossbow wasn't actually equipped; it was just being carried. And so he had to drop it in order to switch to an active weapon.
So I don't know how many Royale games you've played, and everybody's made like the Fortnite shooter meme, but with the motorcycle helmet, he literally looked like a player from PUBG.
Really? I mean, I've never played the only extraction shooter I've ever played with any volume is and I realize that's only a tangentially related thing. But the only extraction shooter I've ever played is Helldivers 2. So, I haven't ever played like a Fortnite or PUBG or any of the, I don't know, what was it, like Commandos or whatever the fuck the other one was.
Yeah.
Haven't played any of those, but I am familiar with the aesthetic. So the PUBG guy doesn't the PUBG logo usually have that guy with one of those bulletproof Russian helmets?
Yeah, they have that too. There's a couple, like you can get a motorcycle helmet, a regular sort of infantry helmet, and then one of the Tachanka helmets.
They should he should have hit the gritty right before he was like, "Yo, Nick."
Yo, Nick.
If Nick Fuentes
better last words than "uh-oh," which is the last words out of the challenger.
I'm gonna give some advice to anyone who wants to commit an act of violence. First, don't commit an act of violence. All right, don't do that. But second, if you are already doing it, right, just like floss a little, do a couple Fortnite dances, really like get the brain rot into the mainstream, because a lot of people are doing assassinations, a lot of people are doing spree shootings, but if you're just like doing video game dances like in the middle of it, you're going down in history, bud. And you might tank the company. You might tank Fortnite. No, like clearly something
good can come out of this.
Yeah. Don't teabag them though, because that's still near and dear to my heart from Halo. So you can't teabag them after.
You can do anything else though.
You can do anything else, just don't implicate Halo.
You can do some other stupid dance.
Oh, you know what? Actually, on the other hand, maybe do teabag them, because Halo games have kind of sucked since Microsoft.
That is true.
Took it away from
Let's
Bungie.
tank Microsoft. Are you telling me that
Halo,
teabagging?
so once again, hold on. Once again, do not commit any acts of violence. Do not go be a terrorist. Do not commit a targeted assassination of anyone with an intent to cause political terror. Luigi Mangione, by the way, has been charged with terrorism,
Not Italian.
which is fair. It's fair that he's been charged with terrorism because he did a terrorism. It was really actually terrorism. It was done with the intent of causing political change through fear. But yeah. First, don't do that. But second, if you do that, then maybe consider teabagging because it's associated with Halo, or wear a Master Chief helmet or something like that. Just really get your outfit on point.
I literally, I can't believe that Luigi is not Italian.
I heard you say that the first time, and I've heard other people say that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's Romanian.
I don't know it. I can't even understand the words that are coming out of your mouth right now.
Yeah. Luigi Mangione, like that. That's like if Shlomo, Bearstein was actually Italian, or Patty O'Mixon was Russian.
Look, I'm gonna be official here. I'm just gonna let you know, Hudson, that whatever a person's ethnicity is what I first clock them as, me personally, and that's just how it is. So, Luigi Mangione is an Italian. You may think otherwise. You may even have evidence to the contrary. But
is it worth your job?
Is it worth getting kicked off of this stream right now? By saying he's some kind of admixed gypsy.
Anyway,
Romanians are basically all vampires.
Before I start Chuck Mangione posting again, we better get into this book.
That's true. That's true. It's been 17 minutes. Thank you all for waiting so patiently, folks.
And, they wanted to hear about the birds.
They did want to hear about the birds. Okay. Anyway,
I think I'm on the right page.
Well, I don't know if you're on the right page, but I know I am. So we're about a page or two ahead of stress level 3000. Also, the thumbnail today, I'm pretty proud of Turner Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but I was kind of thinking that I ought to
wait, we're a page ahead of, so we're not quite at stress level 3.
Yeah, we're not quite. Yeah, I was thinking of putting a scouter on old Timmy so that he could be like Vegeta.
Oh, that would have been good.
It would have been good, but it's too quick, and this is mostly about it. We're gonna get to the Turner Diaries book club in here. So,
where things get really spicy.
Yes.
And every super chat you send from here on out will get you on some sort of list.
For sure. A list of people near and dear to my heart. Maybe even my Christmas card list, although it's a little late.
Yep. Also, people on Cap's Christmas card list cannot fly on airplanes.
That's so true. It's basically the same list. So, all right. In addition to the growing presence of the Patriot movement, racial tensions that had long existed at Fort Riley were reaching a boiling point, and organized racism within the military was gaining the attention of watchdog groups and law enforcement officials. White power organizations were engaged in their own recruitment of military personnel. McVeigh's rhetoric and behavior reflected all of this. Ivory Trone, an African-American soldier. These fucking names, man.
That's got to be a real name, no?
Ivory Tyrone.
I have no idea where we are. I'm just clicking through, trying to figure out where we are.
You are way back, man. Here, go return. Okay, there we go. It's right there. In addition to, so it starts on the bottom of that page. There we go.
All right. Yeah. We're a professional podcast here, folks.
Yeah. Ivory Tyrone.
I haven't been drinking.
I'm currently drinking some ice cold water with lemons in it. Because it keeps my
you fruit. You got something
enjoyer. You citrus enjoyer. Anyway, Ivory Tyrone, an African-American soldier, and I assume his real name, was just out of boot camp when
He's a
McVeigh
real scholar.
became his squad leader. To the Jones team, he described the men McVeigh hung out with as the redneck posse, and on a number of occasions heard them use racial affronts to blacks and other non-white races. He did. I said, what? That was probably not a quote. That was probably a quote from the Jones team rather than Ivory Tyrone.
They racist.
He and McVeigh had a falling out when McVeigh issued an order and Tyrone talked back. McVeigh took him outside and chewed him out.
His name is Trone.
Yeah.
Not Tyrone.
Tyrone. Falling out when McVeigh
T-Rone Hudson.
T-Rone Hudson, yes.
What
does the T stand for? Tyrone. Tyrone Roan Hudson. McVeigh took him outside and chewed him out, threatening his career in the U.S. Army. He didn't like people questioning his authority. T-Rone said that was the point when he realized McVeigh was very biased and prejudiced and judged him, T-Rone, on the color of his skin and not on his merit as a soldier. McVeigh did not like most of the new soldiers arriving at Fort Riley because they were black, and told his biographers that during his final months in the Army, his overt racism resurfaced, attributing this to the disrespectful attitudes of new black kids coming into his unit. Man, every single time I mention something, Wendy instantly confirms and verifies.
Yeah, Wendy is both scholar and witch.
Yeah, absolutely. Total scholar witch. A really good build in Remnant too, by the way.
I think I'm gonna keep T-Rone.
You don't like your you did, yes. You don't like your squad leader because he makes you get up at 5 a.m. It's a basic human trait in the Army. These guys turned it into a racial thing. They didn't understand they were privates. Hence, when he noticed black soldiers wearing Black Power t-shirts around the base, he ordered one that said White Power from the back of a survivalist magazine. To order the shirt, he had to send a $20 membership. We have to go back. I don't know, buddy. Start putting ads for White Power t-shirts in the back of your magazine. Maybe you could have saved WBS apparel. You could have. Think about that. Think about that. Change starts at home.
Our three readers would have definitely loved that.
Well, I'm one of them, and I do own 3 shirts from WBS. RIP.
Oh, look at you, Mr. I have money to spend.
I mean, you're gonna wear something on your body, presumably. Maybe they should have made loincloths for you.
RIP. Even though I don't like Jim Strabo, that damn wop.
Wow, I love wops. Anyhow, let's see. He had to send a $20 membership fee to the North Carolina Ku Klux Klan. He did not feel the shirt was offensive since black guys were wearing Black Power t-shirts on the base, and they weren't supposed to. I wanted to see what would happen. I wanted to make a point. Back in the 60s, people would bring communist manifestos onto campus. Does that mean they were communists because they caught that book and read it? Timothy McVeigh has many good qualities, but one of them is not his excellent judgment.
Rhetorical, terrible judgment.
Yeah, another is that his thought here was literally, imagine what it was like if the roles were reversed, which has never been convincing to anyone.
Has never convinced anyone of anything. And Mr. EL, assless chaps is like too much. Chaps are by their nature assless.
Well, but if you call them assless chaps, then you're just
they are just chaps.
You're emphasizing the asslessness of the chaps.
They would be pants if they had an ass.
Yeah, but they're assless chaps.
But they're just chaps.
There's no chaps are just English fellows. Assless chaps are a thing you wear over your pants or without pants, so that your legs are protected, but there's access to the hole.
Thank you, Gabe.
That is Gabe. That's a Gabe argument. In his exhaustive book on the history of international white power movement, The Beast Awakens. Also, if Wendy Painting is calling your book fucking exhaustive, that thing has got to be 3 feet tall as far as books go.
I have it like holding up the foundation of my house.
It's the entire side. It's the entire footprint of your home.
Some people call it a cornerstone.
Yeah. Martin E. Lee wrote that the majority of right-wing paramilitary groups had intimate personal and ideological connections to white supremacist groups. Lee explained in great depth how the WPM had embarked upon a systematic attempt to tone down their racial rhetoric and gain more mainstream credibility in order to attract unsuspecting, susceptible, and disgruntled individuals drawn to the ideas and concepts of the militias. Remember, we have to tone down our racial rhetoric as the white power movement because we need to attract more minority members to the white power movement.
A la Nick Fuentes.
We need to be nothing but gay and brown to get more. Yeah.
So this reminds
me. Although
it
worked. It did work.
There was this stand-up comedian. He was a black guy. I forget his name, but he was pretty funny. He was talking about how you're not racist until you go to your second Klan meeting. The first one's
just to see what it's like.
Yeah, and you know, the barbecue's really good. But if you go back, you know, yeah, maybe.
Is there a punchline?
No, that was it.
Oh, that's just
it's more observational.
Okay, observational humor, widely regarded as the highest form of comedy.
I'm more of a thinker. I don't do jokes.
I'm more of a reader.
I'm a
writer than a reader, even.
I'm a humorist.
You're maybe
more
humor.
Comment, really?
Just humor. More of a. I'm more telling you an anecdote about this stand-up comedy I watched one time.
Yeah, Mr. EL is pretty snippy tonight in chat. I don't know. Maybe we should give him like a. Do they still give out mod hammers or whatever, or wrenches? Can we give this guy?
Yeah, they do.
Let's give EL a wrench.
How do I'm not sure how to do that, actually.
All right, we're gonna Google that and we're gonna give you a wrench.
Yeah, we're gonna make EL a mod. It's gonna be great. All right.
The first thing you do when somebody's
gonna
being an
ban
asshole
us.
to
you. Yeah. If you give me power, I will abuse it. That is the theme of this show. All right. Although hardcore racialists, that is to say, those who consciously embrace racism as an ideology, remained a numerical minority, they were the motor that propelled and guided militia movement since its inception. Indeed, McVeigh claimed his curiosity about the patriot community and basic fundamental rights led him to books like The Turner Diaries, which in turn led him to explore organizations like the National Alliance and KKK. However, the real test of his racism, he said, was his eventual determination based on his moral values that white power movement literature and propaganda manipulated young people by falsely equating racism with patriotism. Therefore, he explained, after becoming very unhappy with the Klan, he let his membership expire and later traded the t-shirt for ammunition and smoke grenades. I mean, good trade, honestly. Like,
really,
you know,
yeah, the guy, he really missed out in his calling to be a businessman. With always, you know, as a kid, he was able to raise a lot of money. He could make these great deals. Donald Trump would have put McVeigh in some sort of cabinet position had he not done what he'd done.
No, done what he'd done.
Allegedly, you know, I wasn't
Allegedly.
there. I don't know.
He's a good boy. He didn't do nothing. Still, McVeigh resumed his peculiar habit of reading, rereading, and handing out copies of the Turner Diaries, and had one on hand at all times, like a Baptist with his Bible. What an odd thing to say, Wendy.
Wendy, your anti-Christian bias is showing.
Yeah, that one snuck out. Later,
Actually, we did have in our neighborhood the other day a big group of Jehovah's Witnesses going door to door.
yeah. How was
Yeah,
that?
weird. They're
Weird.
weird people.
You've
We
never
we
spoken
didn't
to a Jiho?
once when I was a kid because
Okay.
I just answered the door, like you do, and this really aggressive black lady was telling me I needed Jesus, and I was like, I
Got
go
him.
to church.
They got one.
We've got one at home.
We've got one at home. May I see him? No. All right.
Thought in your general direction.
Oh, you went too far. You took it too far, Hudson. You took it too far. Um, Later, both he and Stephen Jones rejected an insanity defense because, as Jones stated, his client did not wish to be depicted as another John Hinckley. Yet, McVeigh's obsession with the Turner Diaries and other popular culture, John Hinckley, currently alive and free.
Tim, you killed 40 children. No
Yes.
one's gonna call you John Hinckley.
Yet McVeigh's obsession with the Turner Diaries and other popular culture works certainly evoked Hinckley, as well as other bibliophile lone wolf assassins like Mark David Chapman, both of whom had a similar obsession with the Catcher in the Rye. Interestingly, Hinckley had provoked the Brady gun control legislation that, ironically, helped provoke the Oklahoma City bombing, which then prompted further debates about people like McVeigh. The Catcher in the Rye, just for the record, much better book than the Turner Diaries.
Yeah, I would
It is
say
not
so.
close.
I
Not close.
covered Catcher in the Rye on Cannon Fodder with one Gabriel Sinclair.
You gonna do the Turner Diaries?
Oh no,
You're not gonna do that one? Oh,
I
come
don't think so.
on.
No. We only do canonical
Oh,
works.
canonical work. That
You
does
know,
make sense. Yeah.
like Farnham's Freehold and
Well,
others.
canonical lesser work by a canonical author. That's Farnham's Freehold. But yeah. I mean, and we're also not going to do the Turner Diaries on this one, just because I want to keep this. I want
I
to keep
like
this
being
channel.
alive.
Yeah, I want to keep this channel. They're probably. I see. The thing is that if we did that, it would be a complete. It would be me reading the complete novel in a recording. So just imagine what you could do with all of those quotable quotes. Don't need that. Anyway,
Mr. Capitalisimo, is it true that on this date you quote unquote said this? I was quoting a book.
I was literally reading an audiobook. It's fine. All right. McVeigh wrote to his attorneys, I think that the Turner Diaries, at least the first 100 pages, should be required reading for everyone on the defense team, because the truth is, it is a blueprint. It wasn't my specific blueprint, but it provides a good tactical and philosophical outline, minus the racial thing.
Come on, Tim.
He downplayed his racism a couple of years later, telling his biographers that he identified not with Turner's racism, but with the book's underlying message about gun rights and individual freedom. The Turner Diaries, he insisted, was not so much the blueprint for the bombing, but rather provided an inspirational model of resistance to gun control legislation.
It's like that. It's like the goes overhead meme where it's like, wow, this book is really racist. No, you're not talking about the philosophical outline.
But what about the pros?
What about the underlying message about gun rights and individual freedom?
Media literacy. Despite his disenchantment, accusations of his racism, his increasingly apparent bad attitude, and strange politics, his superiors still considered him an excellent soldier. But no amount of commendations, accolades, medals, or promotions could mitigate the lies he heard in the Persian Gulf or the abortive Special Forces experience. The more he thought about it, wrote Herbeck and Mitchell, the worse he felt about the killing. Michelle. The worse he felt about the killing he had done for the American government, and he no longer wanted to work for the government he was beginning to hate.
I'm going to do my own killing.
I'm going to start my own government with blackjack and hookers and trucks that can carry at least 3 tons of
fertilizer
and
other accelerants.
Thus, in late 1991, when his battalion commander asked McVeigh to be his personal driver, he declined, and with his eyes welling up with tears, he announced he was leaving the Army.
And then everyone clapped.
Everyone clapped. I told that teacher, man.
There goes my hero. Watch him as he blows up.
The Murrah Building in Oklahoma City. Doesn't really fit the meter. McVeigh said later that while his position would have been less demanding, it entailed more paperwork than he was willing to deal with and would have required him to rub noses with officers whom he considered the Army's politicians. Instead, on December 31st, 1991, he submitted his letter of resignation to his CO. His decision surprised his cohorts, many of whom thought that, of all people, McVeigh would be a career soldier regardless of the new military cutbacks. Further, nobody expected he would pass up the chance to attend the Special Forces sassafras. Let's just go with sassafras.
So much fun.
Only months away. Now, nobody was quite sure what he would do or where he would go. A primary reason for the creation and circulation of conflicting stories about Timothy McVeigh was a little-known fact that McVeigh himself authored or told them first, and, like the sassafras failure, he gave different explanations to different people about his decisions to leave the Army. Gordon Blackcloud recalled that he wasn't the cheerful guy he was before, you know, but he didn't really say too much or focus on what he was planning on doing. First Sergeant Bob Harris tried to talk him out of it, but his mind was set. Hartley had the impression that Hartley mentioned.
Gordon Blackcloud
had the impression that he was going home to attend college, but McVeigh told Dan Stroud he planned to go home and become a law enforcement officer.
We just say cop, sir.
Maybe you wanted to be a sheriff, bud. Maybe you wanted to be a corrections officer.
They're all cops.
Maybe he wanted to join the FBI.
A buddy of mine did like some pretty heinous crimes and then was able to become a CO after that. So,
I mean, was it a really cool crime?
No.
just really heinous.
Just heinous. And he became a CO.
Heinous, but somehow not disqualifying for being a corrections officer.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Is
did he kidnap someone and keep them in a prison in a self-made prison? And they were like,
he was really doing some OJT there.
They read his they read the sentence and they were like, "We sentence you to be a corrections officer. We're going to put your it's restorative justice. It's using his strengths in a way that serves the system." It's just like, you were born to do this. Royal Witcher also saw him just before he left. McVeigh told Witcher and another soldier, Maurice Ray, he was going to disappear for quite a while and wouldn't even be able to tell his parents where he would be or what he would be doing. And that, indeed, is exactly what he went on to do. Witcher recalled that both he and Ray thought it was kind of funny and strange at the same time. Thought it's kind of funny. Thought it's kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying. Sorry. We thought it was just
only
Tim
I
being
can
strange.
sing on the channel, Cap.
That's true. Before we started, we were singing the professional pirate song from Muppet Treasure Island.
Yes, we were.
I'm not going to sing it now, but I'm going to acknowledge that it happened. You don't have to wear a suit. All right. We thought it was just Tim being a little strange. He was always a little strange, but we couldn't figure out what he had gotten himself into that he couldn't tell his parents about. Alan Smith recalled, he changed over time after he got back from the war. His temper had gotten worse. McVeigh told Smith he'd had enough of the political BS. That goes along with the Army. He had lost interest and just wanted to turn his back. He was so fed up, he just got out. Tim really hated it along towards the end. And another said, the day he got out of the Army, he spent his last night at my house. I don't think he was bitter as much as he just didn't know what he was going to do. I know he told me he was lost.
Imagine if he went to like a real war, man.
One where you didn't just shoot surrendering Iraqis?
Yeah, one where he actually had to do something besides go on the best road trip ever.
The best road trip ever. Basra Highway, 1991.
Woo! Here, take this pill. What is it? It'll help you not catch I don't know, Anthrax 3 or whatever.
Yeah, it'll help you not catch whatever the fuck is in the air right now. I
That we
plan to be
dropped.
This is EL saying, "I plan to become a federal agent." This is his deep cover because he's already a federal agent.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, I don't
like,
know.
"They're gonna make me a mod on the channel,
And then I'll be able to sell them out.
and then I'll
I
be able to sell them
I
out."
was in a group chat with a Fed recently. That was fun.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
had to be the whole chat had to be nuked. RIP.
All right. RIP the chat. RIP double dealer chat. JL Mackey, we know
No,
we know you're a
no.
Fed.
If
Tom Edge man,
if he's a Fed, I am in a lot of trouble.
so much trouble.
No, he's a good man.
Here's a good and thorough.
And there.
All right. Stress level 3000. If McVeigh dropped out of his special forces tryout because he was in bad physical shape, as he claimed, he appeared to recover quickly. According to one of the soldiers who had joined Charlie Company immediately after the Gulf War, Sergeant McVeigh was very gung-ho. He was a good runner, maintained his physical fitness, found pleasure in pushing himself physically. He enjoyed pushing others, especially in the 60-pound rucksack marches, which had supposedly given him so much trouble at Fort Bragg.
60 pounds? That's
Why?
not that much.
It's not that much?
Not
It
really.
seems like kind of a lot.
I
I mean,
it's
I've
not
never run with a backpack
it's not
on.
nothing, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is a full load?
I have no idea. Maybe like 65 pounds?
Well, then 60
Yeah, I have no idea.
close, bud.
I know. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe closer to like 80, maybe 100.
I mean, that seems like a absolute shitload. Which had supposedly given him so much trouble at Fort Bragg. When most started to get tired, he continued, McVeigh found pleasure in pushing himself and others. Yet there was something else going on, something unexplored in all the published accounts that may provide clues and context about his decision to leave the Army. Absent in the many letters McVeigh wrote Steve, as well as in the transcripts of FBI and defense team interviews with other soldiers, is any mention of his continued medical visits. From the time he returned to the Gulf in April until leaving the Army in December, he continued his secret life as a professional patient. Inexplicably, while large portions of McVeigh's military medical records are found in the Jones collection, no memoranda or correspondence were located in the collection indicating that anybody on the Jones team noticed or discussed the frequency of his medical visits while in the Army. It is no wonder that Cerny and Kelso found McVeigh a bit cranky, as during the summer of 1991, while living with them, McVeigh visited the dentist several times. On June 20th, 1991, 2 of his teeth were decaying and causing him pain. On July 1st, 12th, 15th, and 29th, he returned for medical attention on at least 7 different teeth. Doctors noted he had small protruding pieces of bone sticking out in his mouth.
Oh.
Which was
You ever
for some
hear
reason it
of a
says
toothbrush, bud?
oh, God. Small pieces of bone sticking out of his mouth. Doctor, those are teeth. We gotta get these things out of there.
I watched a Simpsons clip the other day with Dr. Nick. Homer's about to go under anesthesia for surgery, and as he's going out, you just hear Dr. Nick go, "What the hell is that?"
Oh God, what the hell is that?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick. Man, I love the golden age
Me too.
of The Simpsons. Let's see here. Which was infected, and the bone chips caused him continuous pain. In the midst of this, on July 17th, he saw a doctor for the removal of moles that had recently appeared on his chin and near his ear. At the end of the summer, on August 26th, 1991, at 1 p.m., just prior to moving out of the apartment he shared with Cerny and Kelso, McVeigh visited the doctor, saying he was nauseated, unable to hold fluids, and could not stop vomiting. He did not have a fever. This is very, very
The only prescription was more cowbell.
Terrible.
Terrible.
You. How dare you?
I try.
In September 1991, the month he moved in with Royal Witcher, McVeigh received another typhoid vaccination. An almost unreadable document stamped Emergency Treatment Center, Fort Riley, shows that sometime in October 1991, The 23-year-old combat veteran received a medical injection of an unknown variety after seeking medical care for unknown reasons. On October 14th, he complained of pain in his right shoulder, but the radiologist, after examining results of the x ray he ordered, found no significant abnormalities. Meanwhile, McVeigh attended Fort Irwin's National Training Center, located in the Mojave Desert of San Bernardino County, California, and arrived back at Fort Riley on October 20th. 2 days later, on October 22nd, at 6 a.m., doctors at Fort Riley saw him for a previously diagnosed ulcer, as well as a cold that had persisted since the week before. On October 28th, 1991, he wrote to Steve, at 16:30 hours formation, they told us that we would be on alert as of 04:30 tomorrow morning. Our bags will be placed onto a semi. We're on alert to guard a nuclear site in Utah against terrorist attacks. Great, another opportunity for my balls to fall off. He had a stress level of 3,000. He closed by saying, I have to quit now. I have a pounding headache. He did not mention the recent visits to the doctor. An NCO evaluation.
Okay, now I wonder
Yeah.
if he remembers going to the doctor.
Well, he doesn't because he's dead.
Thank you, Cap.
No problem.
No, I'm like, were they like MK Ultraing him? I was in
Oh, you mean were they? You mean like
he wasn't
number-
actually at the dentist.
Yeah, he was going in for other shit.
Yeah.
Does
Does she go over this? She probably does.
Yeah,
She goes over everything.
She does go over everything. It becomes later on. She talks about possible explanations for the medical
Owen
for the many medical visits.
Owen Zaleski, I agree. The Discord does suck. I saw something I shouldn't have seen in that Discord.
You need to stay out of the suicide inspiration channel.
Why do you have a suicide inspiration channel in your Discord?
Well, to inspire suicide.
I am a completionist. I can't just leave something unread. My email inbox is immaculate. I couldn't just leave that little notification, and I paid dearly for it.
The gooning one is even worse, actually.
You guys need to join the Tukey's Mag Discord.
You can do that by joining us on Patreon, and you'll get an automatic invite.
Or if you have a show on the channel and they feel bad for you and they want to shit talk you to your face.
Yeah. I mean, there is also a Double Dealer gang stalking channel. So
I'm not in that one.
Oh, I know. Of course you aren't. You're not allowed in that one because we have to gang stalk you.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Everyone else can get in though, just not you.
Oh,
good. Or JL Mackey.
So they weren't Jehovah's Witnesses. They were Tukey's Discord.
They were Tukey's Discord. They were our top tuggers.
Tuggers are outside your house and in your walls.
Top tuggers are standing back and standing by. For gang stalking fun with the Double Dealer crew.
Lacuna, I don't actually want them to get money, so.
I would love for you to do that. But anyway. And the more people are in it, the better it gets, by the way. So,
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, it depends on the quality of the people who join, and I imagine that anyone who would consider themselves a top tugger would be a man of superlative quality.
Next time you guys are recording in the Discord, I'm just going to join.
You're just going to join. Everyone who joins is automatically muted. So, yeah. Alrighty, where are we? McVeigh arrived at the dentist again. Oh, wait, no. In the NCO evaluation report detailing his performance from February until November 1991, recommended his promotion to a higher pay grade. A little over a week later, at 6 a.m. on November 7th, 1991, he sought medical attention, saying that for the previous 4 weeks, his left big toe had been deteriorating. It was scaling, fissuring between the toes, red and itching. That just sounds like
it's shrunk to the size of a normal size toe.
It's the same size as my pinky toe. It really, that sounds like he had athlete's foot. I mean, that's right? It was scaling.
Yeah, or trench foot, or
I mean, isn't that the same thing? It's just like a
no.
fungal infection.
Yeah, I don't know. I never got athlete's foot. Not much of an athlete.
How much of it? You got to be an athlete to get athlete's foot.
Yeah, I got lazy piece of shit foot.
It's called gout. It's called gout, Hudson.
Shout out Prudentialist. Doesn't he?
Did he have gout?
I think so. I think because of his kidney, he got gout.
Oh, that fucking sucks. He told the doctor that the skin scales, then grows back, then holes appear. At 5:30 a.m. on November 13th,
Then holes appear.
then holes appear. Holes. He's got AIDS foot. He got AIDS foot because his big toe was gay. It was the gay part of him.
Everybody's a little bit gay. He just had it in his.
It was just all in his big toe. Yeah, in his big foot. At 5:30 a.m. on November 13th, he again went to the medical unit, this time complaining about facial moles located above the chin, but below the bottom lip.
He was
and on the right
black.
side of his face near the ear. Yeah, you're growing a soul patch, sir.
Those are hairs, Tim.
Yep. I mean,
you need to shave.
We've seen a lot of pictures of Timothy McVeigh. He does not seem like the kind of guy who could grow a beard, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, don't want to denigrate our poor dead murderer.
Dead. Yeah, I don't mean to speak ill
of the dead, but I don't think he could grow a beard
to save his life.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if he
was part of his sentencing.
A beard, he could have saved his own life.
That was part of his sentencing. They were like, if you can grow a beard, you will not be executed by the state.
Well, no, but even just escaping, if he was able to grow a beard,
As
people would have been like, "Oh, it's that guy with the beard," and then he shaves it off. Oh, where'd he go?
I wonder if he ever had a beard conversation with Kaczynski. I want to read the beard letters between McVeigh and Kaczynski. It's just Uncle Ted mogging him with his facial hair. At 5:30 a.m. on November 13th, he again went to the medical unit, this time complaining about facial moles, etc., on the right side of his face near his ear that interfered with shaving and requested they be removed. On a separate form entitled Request for Civilian Medical Care, the doctor described the skin tags and noted 2 new moles in the first 5 millimeter flesh colored and the second 2 millimeter raised flesh colored. The previous July, and in the civilian medical referral, the doctor wrote the moles were new, but in a November 13th report, they had been there his entire lifetime. McVeigh arrived at the dentist again on November 20th, 1991.
I mean, maybe that's true in that the soul that started inhabiting his body was only 2 weeks old.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he went on like some sort of government ayahuasca trip. So
the Aztec demon that took over his body and built the bomb was okay.
Yeah, his name is Tim Poltepec.
Tim Zoltepec, and
Tim
that's
Zolchitl,
the Aztec demon of fertilizer volume in a container.
Well, I mean, the Amazon rainforest is just an overgrown forest, not forest, overgrown. It used to be agricultural.
It's essentially a cornfield.
Yes,
Yes.
So
yes.
Really, all the soil there is just big fertilizer. Tim would have loved it. We should have taken him there.
Should have taken him. So the Amazon, you're aware, is not actually in Mexico, right?
Fact check.
Jamie,
pull that up.
Jamie, pull that up. Mexico's entirely in North America, and
no,
the Amazon's entirely in South America.
Everything south of Texas is
everything
South America.
Of America is South America, obviously, like Australia. South America.
I don't need any lip out of you. I won my middle school geography B. Thank you. I know where things are.
Japan and China, West America. Canada, North America. Did you say geography spelling bee?
No, it's just a geography B.
Oh.
So instead of a spelling bee, it was a geography B.
You win geography B? Why not geography A?
I'm sure you're going to hear that a lot. What with your miscegenation?
It happens every time we finally mention my wife.
One day I'm gonna meet her by chance, and she's gonna be like, "You're such an asshole to my husband."
You know what, Hudson? She doesn't know who you are at all.
That's sad. We spend all this
She
time
doesn't think
together.
she doesn't think about you at all. She's not capable. She does not know who you are.
Fine. If I ever meet your wife, I'm
She
just gonna
does
walk
really
up.
like she does really like the Kennedys, so I told her that if she wanted to read a book on Joe Kennedy, she could read The Perfect and the Wicked, though.
I am well, now I'm not gonna do this, but I was thinking I'm gonna whenever I see you at some sort of event, I'm gonna walk up to the both of you and go, "Hello, my name is Caparissimo,"
Oh
and
god.
with the eyes and everything. But now that if
You're
she
just
reads
gonna
my
you're gonna get some like masking tape just on the
yeah,
corners of your
yep,
eyes.
yep. I'm just gonna go full
Hurrah!
Mickey Rooney.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You should actually just look up some old Pat Morita stand-up bits because he actually had the best
Pat
Asian
Morita was
jokes.
a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he was real fucking funny
What?
too. And they're all Asian jokes.
Oh my.
All of them.
Oh wow, you just opened up a whole new interest for me.
A
Because
whole new world.
I'm so ronery.
All right. McVeigh arrived at the dentist again on November 20th, 1991, and because of bleeding gums Murphy, doctors ordered an X-ray. By this time, he had received so many X-rays that fears of his testicles falling off appear reasonable. But by the time he left Fort Riley, only 5 of his teeth remained untouched. The November 20th dental visit was the last to appear on his military medical records, but as will be seen, this was certainly not his last visit. After leaving the Army, McVeigh continued to visit private dentists throughout the country, including just days before the bombing. Often these visits occurred in mysterious circumstances.
See,
In
this is
a
what happened. He was going to private dentists. He needed to go to sergeant dentists.
fucking hate you. I'm getting
Yeah.
some major dental work. um hmm. In a radiological request report dated December 5th, 1991, the attending doctor noted McVeigh's upper gastrointestinal difficulties that included his retention of gaseous secretions and he couldn't burp and the possibility of duodenitis, an inflammation of the intestine commonly caused by viral infection bacteria and often resulting in an ulcer.
I just got that major dental work. That's funny.
What? Because you just made a joke. You made the same joke.
No. I just got what you had said.
I know, but it's the same joke as the joke you had just made.
What?
The joke you made about he was
Yeah. The private
yeah,
yeah.
it's the same joke.
Oh, so it is.
God damn it. James Rockwell, the supply sergeant for Charlie Company, different from some other Rockwells you may know, said that one day McVeigh entered the Fort Riley supply room and confided his belief that he had a computer chip in his backside. Rockwell was not sure what McVeigh meant by this and asked him to explain. McVeigh responded that the military had done things to him and said, I think they've brainwashed me or injected me with something. At the very least, Rockwell opined McVeigh felt the army had manipulated him into killing innocent Iraqis. Yes, Tim, that's the job.
And to be
That's
fair, that is
the
very
job.
true to real life. You want as soon as you see a supply guy, you really want to gaslight him and make him feel crazy as often as possible.
Yeah. Hey, so in these supplies, do you have any very small batteries? Because I think my booty hole microchip is running a little low. And I
Is
want to make
fertilizer
sure
a supply?
how much fertilizer do you think I could fit in my bunk? Let's see here. On December 10th, McVeigh put in to get out of the Army and received an honorable discharge effective December 31st, 1991. The reason noted for his separation, the early transition program for the convenience of the government. As part of his early discharge, he enlisted or accepted a voluntary assignment in the New York State Army National Guard, based in Tonawanda, New York. to begin immediately upon leaving Fort Riley. The same day, December 10th, he wrote Steve, "Yeah, I'll be home for Christmas, but in a way you never imagined. That's right, roll out the red carpet, hold all calls, because the kid is coming home. Know of any job openings for a washed up war hero? See you by the 20th. I'll need help unloading the U-Haul." Oh no! Would you? Would you?
I was driving behind a Penske truck today, and for a
Yeah,
second I was like, "Oh no!" And then I thought, "Oh wait, it's just a Penske. We're good."
it's the safe red one. It's like a coral snake versus a king snake.
No, this one was actually white.
Oh, really? Well, that's
Yeah,
very
Penske
disappointing.
trucks are like like a muted yellow white, like the white or the yellow paint had been stripped off.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I've only seen yellow ones, but I guess you just saw the old ass Penske.
Penske.
Mike
I guess you're
Mike
not a
Mike
Penske.
Mike Penske.
I guess you're not Penske material.
I'm not Penske material. I'm a rider man. I'm a rider man. Uh, yeah. Would you help Timothy McVeigh unload his box truck?
I wouldn't help
Is
Timothy
that-
McVeigh cross the street.
I mean, he probably wouldn't. I mean, he's a pretty able-bodied guy. He probably wouldn't need it.
I might help Mickey McVeigh cross
Mi-
the street.
I'd help Mickey. Yeah, help Mickey McVeigh. Take a decompressor back, if you know what I mean.
Are you drunk?
The next day, are you drunk?
Have you been drinking?
You wanna be? Have you not been drinking? The next day on December 11th, 1991, he was administered anesthesia for the removal of the pesky moles, the Penske moles,
Penske moles.
which did or did not recently appear. The doctor appears to have taken no tissue specimens to the lab for further testing. Like so many aspects,
okay, so he went to the doctor to get these moles checked out,
but didn't get them
and
biopsied.
well, that right, or yeah, didn't get paperwork for them to be biopsied either, because apparently also the more circular and like symmetrical they are, the more likely they are to be cancerous or malignant, I guess.
Oh,
Or
really?
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, I heard that somewhere. I read it in a book, or
No,
also
you
just
didn't.
completely made it up.
I read it on a Wikipedia entry.
You
I'm a
know.
doctor.
Anyway, but the fact that unless did it say that he went to two different doctors? I kind of glossed over that, but like at one point he said they had just appeared, and the other that they've been there his whole life.
Yeah,
Whoever's
that's right.
examining him is like, but last week you said like, hold on, hold the fort. Let's figure this
Hold
out,
the Fort
Tim.
Riley. Yeah.
And then he says Tim's not here anymore. Zocha Chittle Marzipan Soup is here.
Marzipan soup does not sound like something that would be any good.
Well, no, he blew up a whole building full of children.
Because he was marzipan. Yeah, marzipan soup was no good. Blew up a daycare center. All right. Like so many aspects of his life, details about his health are conflicting and contradictory. McVeigh told his attorneys that he once had a negative incident with a captain during a drill when the captain chewed him out for visiting the medic for an ingrown toenail. Woody Davis said McVeigh had sinus problems before he left Fort Riley. Gordon Blackcloud explained the standard protocol for obtaining medical attention.
If
If
you
you want
need
to see
see
the witch
doctor,
doctor, you have to go through the chain of command. You have to see medicine man first.
you must talk to village elders.
After I told him about McVeigh's records and asked him what he thought, he said if he was sick. Wait, that's so weird. After I told him about McVeigh's records and asked him what he thought, he said that if he was sick, as the records reflected, someone would have noticed, and the other soldiers would have given him a hard time. We spent the whole time together as one unit, from basic to the whole deal. So weird. A weird way to phrase
Yeah, that's
that.
a weird, very strange phrasing.
Blackcloud
Are we still doing
elaborated.
phrasing?
I don't know how he was before he came in, but he seemed to be in good health. As many times as he went to the doctor, that's what I'm sitting here trying to figure out as well too. It seemed like he would have gotten in trouble for it being too excessive. The loquacious Ray Barnes provided the following explanation. He didn't have any health problems that I knew of. I think he had trouble in his feet one time, but that was when he was doing a lot of road marching and getting ready for special forces. When you start marching a lot of miles, you got to take care of your feet. If they break down,
We break down.
We break down. I heard he hurt his leg in trying out, and that's about the only big major health thing that I can recall. He washed out of the special forces because he hurt his knee during the tryout. I recall him going to the dentist a few times, but it never interfered with his training. He was being pulled out regularly. He may have gotten some teeth fixed, but to be honest, I didn't pay attention to it. He didn't miss training or regular duty. If you got a toothache, you can go to the dentist. I don't ever remember him complaining of a toothache. I know he had his wisdom teeth done because when an army dentist pulls your teeth, you couldn't help but not miss it because you look like a chipmunk. I don't recall him having moles. I'm looking at this picture from boot camp, and I don't really notice any moles. I mean, if there were, they weren't red or anything. But you got to understand, McVeigh was
Moles
a private
aren't red.
person.
Ray, you idiot.
Well, it probably means noticeable, right?
Hmm.
I mean, if there were, they weren't red or anything. But you got to understand, McVeigh was a private person. He didn't want you to know. He didn't open up to just everybody. If he wanted you to know, he'd tell you. He wasn't a whiner, and very few people he'd open up to. He never really complained. Like roommates, he didn't nosy into my business, and I didn't nosy into his. We just kind of
That's the
just
problem.
respected each other that way. If he wanted me to know, he told me. If he didn't, I didn't need to know, and I respected that.
That's the problem. Tim was a private person, but then he ended up becoming a sergeant.
Person. True. Oh, man. JL Mackey, you miss some stuff, bud. So you can go back and listen to the recording later.
I'll have you know that I defended you the whole time.
The whole time.
And no need to go back and listen. In fact, never go back again. Just kidding.
The FBI had interviewed all soldiers known to have contact with McVeigh and even harassed many of them. But Lou Johnson, who was also very sick by this time, commented on the FBI's lack of questioning during their interview. To him, it seemed the FBI didn't want to know the truth. A number of them reported the FBI and CID gave express instructions not to talk about McVeigh, not to attempt to contact him further, and not to discuss the case. None of the hundreds of FBI interviews referred to health problems. Nonetheless, after his return to upstate New York, the psychological, medical, and ideological odyssey of Timothy McVeigh continued. And then all of the footnotes.
Yeah, look, damn. Oh, wow, she even has a footnote for the word cohort. That's great.
Yeah.
She's a good woman and thorough.
Very thorough.
Let's just get ooh, his letter to Gore Vidal.
In the footnotes, she publishes an entire copy of the
Turner Diaries
of the Turner Diaries. No, that's not true. Would be hilarious, but no, does not.
If you order now, you'll get a special edition of the Turner Diaries.
We published by Double Dealer.
No, never, stop.
Never, not happening. Disavow.
Oh, and here's Tim's headshot for when he wanted to become a male model.
I mean, he is kind of doing blue steel there. You know, a little bit. Lips are a little pursed, you'd say. Yeah. He always had that one fucking haircut though. It did not, that one that kind of works on everybody. Okay. Amaranoid. Part 1. Return to Buffalo. December 1991 to January 1993. Introduction. The 90s was widely dubbed the conspiracy decade due to what some perceived as a growing culture of paranoia, whose expressions continue to find their way into the broader public at an alarming, increasing frequency. No longer on the pathological fringes, conspiracies had become a staple topic within the mainstream. Elected officials and pundits implied and proclaimed the existence of vast, far-reaching right and left-wing conspiracies, while the American populace simultaneously displayed a bipartisan fusion paranoia, wherein the cynical conspiratorial thinking of the rightist, patriot, and militia crowd coincided with surprisingly similar suspicious ruminations on the left. Man. A
little bit of left-wing glazing there. Hey, Wendy.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Is it surprising? I think not.
It's like, well, the right has their crazy conspiracies, while we leftists have our totally sane.
We have our surprisingly similar suspicious ruminations.
You know, for
Well,
scholars. And
would you? I mean, but also, this is the '90s, so I don't know. Art Bell, right wing or left wing?
yeah,
Neither wing, no wing.
yeah, no, he was completely libertarian. Especially the dude had Harry Brown on. I don't even know how many times. Never had George Bush on. Never had
Yeah.
Bill Clinton on. Only
Well,
the Libertarian Party graced the airwaves of Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell.
yeah, but doesn't that just discredit the libertarians? I
No,
mean,
what are you
not
talking about?
not now.
They're an actual party. They have an address.
Yeah. Oh, they have addresses and names. Now who's the Fed?
They-
Um.
uh,
So yeah,
I'd sell you out, Cap. I'd sell you out so hard.
you'd sell me. Would you sell me out? I'd sell
I'd
me
sell
out.
me.
I'd sell me out hard.
Huh.
I would say that. I would say that the '90s left wing and right wing certainly doesn't map cleanly on
No,
to the
definitely not.
present day left wing and right wing.
The left
Um,
wing in the 90s was like against the WTO and
WTO was not even a fucking thing until like 2000.
oh, you're right. My bad. Well, but just
Global trade.
yeah, global trade and
I
like
mean, but
deindustrialization.
Clinton signed NAFTA. Yeah.
Yeah, but Clinton's whole strategy was to be to the right of the right. He was
That's
like,
fair.
these lefties are gonna vote for me. They're not gonna vote for George Bush, so I can be as right wing as I have to be in
As I
order to
want,
get the center.
I can be as right wing as I want, and I
As
can
long
put
as that
my cigars in these college students.
as long as that fucking bitch is out getting
That
shot in
fucking
Serbia
that
or
fucking frigid
Bosnia.
whore. Uh,
It's amazing that Robert Reich got a job in his administration, even though he was the guy that introduced him to Hillary.
oh God. I mean, like a
Bill, I don't know if you
frigid
know
power
this.
couple.
Bill, I don't know if you know this, but leader of the or leader of the Lollipop Guild is not an actual cabinet position. I'll take labor secretary. I think that's what you meant.
Man, Lollipop Guild would be a pretty good cabinet level position, though, to be honest.
Yeah, but then Robert Kennedy Jr. abolished it. Something about
It totally did.
something about red dye number 40.
Yeah, vegetable plate. It was the
We represent the vegetable guild. The vegetable guild.
all right. Growing numbers of Americans gravitated towards conspiracy theories as a way to make sense of actual or suspected parallel but unseen realities and realms populated by shadowy government and institutional forces. According to commentator Peter Knight, written in 1999, the language of conspiracy that dominated the decade and its related canon of conspiracy theories. Hey,
Cannon fodder mentioned.
Yeah, canon fodder mentioned. Of conspiracy theories, common subjects of popular entertainment and historical revisionism, involved any number of federal agencies, plots, and cover ups. But all of the conspiracy theories that circulated, those about the 1960s lone nut assassinations, were the cornerstone of skepticism towards government.
I'm sorry, were they wrong?
Yeah, exactly. According to public opinion polls in 1964, 87% of Americans accepted the Warren Commission's official account of the JFK assassination. In 1993, 77 to 80% believed some type of government conspiracy was involved in the assassination of JFK. Full flip, right? And in 1995, 90% rejected the notion that Oswald acted alone. Yeah. So it's almost like the Warren Commission complete bullshit explanation of a magic bullet. It's almost like that's the thing that caused people to lose confidence in official narratives.
Yeah,
And
something about the lies that Gerald Ford told the American people, and then he got to be president for it.
Yeah.
Really soured us on the whole lone nut theory.
Yeah,
It'd be really funny if
we could
Gerald
have
Ford was giving the magic bullet theory, and then he fell down the steps outside of Congress.
if if it wasn't for the lone nut theories,
We
we could have
wouldn't.
nutted alone. We could have nutted alone for the rest of the century, and it would have been fine.
Mr. EL, as far as the Tony Blair strategy, yeah, you're 100% right. Actually, what's his name? The dude who's dead, Christopher Hitchens. He had a book about it. I think it was called like the triangulation of Bill Clinton or something like that, where yeah, they used the same strategy of going to the right because they knew that they had the left locked up. Yeah, really good book. Also, James Elroy is sitting on a Bill Clinton manuscript and is waiting for Clinton to die to publish it.
Oh my god. Do it now. Send him to prison, please.
Well, no, James Elroy is a novelist, so it's going to be like a a fictional treatment of it. It's going to be The
Do it
Perfect and the
now.
Wicked, but for Bill Clinton.
Hmm.
I think he doesn't want to get sued. You can learn more about
He
that.
doesn't want to get assassinated. He should wait until Hillary's dead.
That which does not live cannot die.
That which does not live can never die. Yes. Okay. Even the government was skeptical of the government. In 1992, President Clinton requested that Webster Hubbell, possible Justice Department appointee, find the answer to two pressing questions: who killed JFK and are there UFOs? That same year, in order to help counter conspiracy theories about the JFK assassination, former President Gerald Ford, the only surviving member of the Warren Commission, requested
Weird.
that the CIA and House Select Committee on Assassinations publicly disclose all of their files related to the murder, which still remained classified. You know, another thing about surviving members of the Warren Commission, wasn't there a sitting congressman on the Warren Commission who fucking disappeared? Fully fucking disappeared?
Was there? I don't know
Yeah.
anything about the Warren Commission. I just know it was wrong.
Yeah. Hold on.
What was his name? Jamie, pull that up.
Hale Boggs.
I thought you were gonna say Hale Bop. That would have been funny.
That would have been crazy. Yeah, Hale Boggs. Hale Boggs was on the, let's see,
Hale Boggs.
so he was House Majority Leader and a member of the Warren Commission. And in 1972, while still Majority Leader, he was on a fundraising. I'm just reading directly from Wikipedia here. Was on a fundraising
Hassan.
drive in Alaska when the twin-engine airplane on which he was traveling, along with Alaska Congressman Nick Begich and two others, disappeared en route from Anchorage to Juneau, Alaska. They never found shit.
Nick Begich
disappeared.
Nick Begich, that's the guy that just got elected to Congress in Alaska. And also Nick Begich is the guy who was writing about HARP and was on Coast to Coast AM a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Same Nick Begich, or at least in the same family.
No. Same family, because Nick Begich fucking disappeared. He disappeared in the 1970s, so he was never on Art Bell.
No, he reappeared so that he could, talk about.
That would be huge. Yeah. Yeah. DB Cooper on Art Bell. Yeah. So these guys.
Sorry, DB. We had to bump you for what's his name?
Hale Boggs.
No. What's the
Nick Begich?
No, not Nick Begich. No, the guy who's like crystalline castles on Mars. Holy shit!
Well, sir. We are so grateful. We are so thankful, Ham. We really appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you too.
Merry Christmas.
A fine and wonderful super chat from our friend Ham. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Thank you so much. That actually, I feel very appreciated right now. I'm going to say that the spirit of Nick Begich and Hale Boggs having been mentioned, have interceded on our behalf to move the hand of Ham and give us this fine display of generosity. So
Rest
thank
in
you again.
peace, congressman.
Yes, or
And
fuck, maybe they're still alive. They're
yeah,
living out there, mountain
it,
men wearing fucking polar bear skins.
it'd be really funny if it's like the same Nick Begich who just got elected to Congress and he just doesn't mention it.
Just taken.
He's like, oh yeah, no, I saw the seat was empty. Thought I'd try it
I
again.
lived in Alaska for decades.
We're
I have
gonna-
taken a muskox as a wife.
Oh, it's very possible that this Nick Begich will get put on the congressional committee to invest the Trump assassination attempt.
Amazing.
So, keep your eyes out, folks, because that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
In a like a scary, I hope he doesn't die way.
Well, we are going to live in interesting times for sure.
I want to live in some boring times for once.
Why?
I like boring.
The best quality that times could possibly have is to be interesting.
All right.
Look, you should go through the worst possible circumstances but emerge unscathed. That's the best possible outcome.
Yes, the Forrest Gump syndrome.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you should be. Here's what you need to do. You need to first be retarded. Second,
check.
Be in the room where it happens. And that's
check.
Forrest Gump. Check. Wait, no, I'm just retarded. If you don't have
AIDS.
both, if you don't have both, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be hepatitis. Was it not?
No. AIDS.
Okay. Well, all right. We're gonna say it's AIDS. Somehow AIDS in the 70s.
No, the 80s.
Was it the 80s?
Yeah, and also the AIDS had been around since like the 50s.
AIDS was introduced by Ronald Reagan specifically.
He went around to black neighborhoods and said he was giving out
free polio vaccinations, and he started
punching baby seals.
Yeah. Have you ever felt the fur of a baby seal?
Just under my club.
Wonderful. It's actually baby seal fur is amazing. I can understand why they get killed for it. I'm just saying.
Nick Begich is clubbing seals in heaven right now.
Yep, with his muskox wife.
A real battle axe. Anyway.
All right.
All that is to say, R.I.P. Nick Begich. Long live Nick Begich.
Okay, where are we? All right. Perhaps best illustrative of the permeation of conspiracy theories within popular culture was Oliver Stone's 1991 film JFK, which, as cultural theorist Jack Bradich pointed out, kicked off a conspiracy panic. Fox Network's television series X-Files, 1993 to 2002, also reflected, shaped, and defined the decade's preoccupation with conspiracy theories. The show featured a pair of FBI agents tasked with investigating fringe and often paranormal type cases, who find themselves surrounded by all manner of government conspiracies. Unshakable in their belief that the truth is out there, they continue their quest despite numerous dangers posed to their lives by the conspirators, who include old white men in smoke-filled rooms, where, as everybody knows, conspiracies are hatched. JFK and the X-Files raise questions about that. For some reason, there's another typo in the book here, and it says FJFK. Wow,
did Marilyn Monroe write this?
Yeah, for some reason they went through the fifth version. The fifth version. And the X-Files raise questions about their relation to or reflection of actual and possible events, plausible or probable theories about them, and the increasingly blurred lines between fact, fiction, and metaphor.
And just to tie this up real quick, I did do a cursory Google search, and I am completely correct. Nick Begich III is now in Congress. His grandfather was the congressman that you mentioned, and his father is the harp guy.
Amazing. Shout out Shout out.
Shout out
We'll
to
get it.
Alaska, to the whole state. You
Shout out.
shine on, you crazy diamonds.
No kidding. We'll get him on. We'll get him on the show. It'll be
that'll
fantastic.
be great. We should
It'd be
definitely do that. I think we can get Nick Begich Sr. I don't know about Congressman Begich.
We'll get the guy married to a muskox.
No. That's the senior. No. There's three of them.
Okay. Well, how could it be the senior if there's three of them? We'd get the second.
I understand that, but for whatever reason, in the article, he was referred to as Nick Begich Sr.
Even though
I guess because his father died,
and his son is Trips.
Yep, his son is Trips. How great is that? I love my country sometimes. I definitely wouldn't do anything bad.
God bless America. All right. The best part about this is that if you haven't actually seen X-Files, Wendy is just like glossing over the fact that there are episodes of the X-Files that are about like monsters that live in porta potties. So
yeah, great show.
Leech Man, so good.
Yeah, it's also, it's the dumb man's Twin Peaks.
It is.
The thinking man's X-Files, Twin Peaks.
Not surprisingly, the sponge-like McVeigh was an ardent X-Files fan, and after learning of the prosecution's request to disqualify X-Files fans from the pool of potential jurors, he requested that his attorneys specifically include them on the jury and insisted that the defense jury screening questionnaire include the question of whether or not potential jurors were fans of the X-Files.
That's actually brilliant.
Amazing.
That's
brilliant.
Yeah, if anybody's gonna believe that his actions were justified, which I don't think they were, but like if anybody's gonna believe, it's gonna be somebody who likes conspiracies in the X-Files. Yeah, Tim McVeigh would have done great if he'd represented himself.
Yeah.
he would have crushed voir dire.
He would have absolutely destroyed it. To illustrate his reasons, he had attorney Randy Coyne, who had never seen the show, record an episode and view it with him. It's just, we're gonna have a watch party, Randy. McVeigh told Coyne,
sure, whatever. These are billable hours, Tim.
McVeigh told Coyne the show was about covert meetings in the night, secret goings on, and focused on a ghost government. In a memo written to the other members of the defense team shortly after, Coyne said, "It is clear to me that the government will desperately try to keep all X-Files fans off Tim's jury." Coyne then attempted to explain the show to the rest of the team, telling them it was about two FBI agents who find that the darker forces of evil are actually clandestine government officials and agencies. Coyne added that as they watched the episode, McVeigh insisted on replaying one particular scene wherein Agent Scully emerges from the shower, chooses not to kill the person believed to have murdered her sister, and declares the truth is, no court, no punishment is ever enough.
Sic semper tyrannis. Semper Fidelis Tyrannosaurus.
I knew you were going to say it. I was fucking waiting. For you to say it every time. Someday.
Always faithful, terrible lizard.
Someday we will finish the Venture Brothers retro. The turn of the millennium witnessed a spate of analysis by academic pundits of conspiracy theories. Some went so far as to claim that the proliferation had by the 1990s reached dangerous epidemic proportions and had injected toxins into the public discourse, like misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, cheap fakes, deep fakes, leap fakes, heap fakes,
phone books.
Yeah. Phone crooks.
They tried that, but then he got shot.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Thomas Crooks.
Yeah, that's true. Thomas Crooks. That's right. Already forgot about him, actually.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of guys that we've definitely forgotten, who's the Palestine dude?
Which one?
The one who burned himself alive for no reason.
Oh, Andy Bushmills.
Aaron Bushnell. That's right.
Yeah.
I always have to remember to forget him.
I always wonder. I always forget if it's the liquor name or the rifle optics name, and I just went with the wrong one.
Bushmasters.
Bushmaster. Yeah, Bushmaster. Well,
Well,
anyway.
that was RFK's nickname, but
Anyway, it used to be. Now I make them shave. I used to just eat it off. Just chewing through the hair.
they
But then the
called
voice
him the
went.
weed whacker.
They called me. Oh my
Yang,
god.
yang, 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 yang.
Ha cha 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 cha.
I actually listened to his rendition of Frosty the Snowman the other day. R.I.P. Jimmy Durante.
Wait, who?
The singer Jimmy Durante. He's the guy who was like ha cha cha cha.
Oh, right. Wow,
Yeah.
like referenced in Cole Porter's You're the Top.
Yep.
Let's see.
We're never finishing this.
We are
fucking
never
book.
finishing this fucking book. All right. Resulting in a full-blown paranoid virus whose symptoms among the body politic included heightened public fear and widespread cynicism. Since then, a growing number have sought to move beyond the paranoid style thesis and, in doing so, have advanced more sympathetic takes on conspiracy theories themselves, the people who propagate them, and the culture of conspiracy they comprised. In 2009, historian Catherine Olmsted built on the work of 1990s era conspiracy theorists by examining why exactly such a large number of Americans believed their own government would engage in conspiracies against them, and the relationship this belief had to actual conspiracies. They're all true.
Yeah, like she's setting out like to prove a negative when she's doing that.
Right.
But you don't hate academics enough, folks.
She found that despite their seeming outlandishness, the wide array of conspiracy theories all had at least one thing in common. When they charge that the government has plotted, lied, and covered up, they're often right. Well, now you're on her side, aren't you?
All right. Never mind, Karen.
What a quick redemption arc.
I got to stop talking and just let Wendy get me where I'm already going to be.
Inverse Hudson coin. Inverse Hudson. She concluded that between conspiracies and official government stories, citizens should be more skeptical of the latter, because the most dangerous conspiracies and conspiracy theories flow from the center of American government, not the margins of society. Thus, for Olmsted, this represented the struggle over the power to control the public's perception of an event, and posed a direct challenge to the government's authority to create an official version of an event and subsequently maintain it as the truth. Where's the fucking lie? So
all
true.
All right, Catherine, I'm on your side again.
So true. In fact, I kind of wanna. Let me just open up another. Let me just open up another copy of this, and let's see. Olmsted, 2009, Catherine, Real Enemies, Conspiracy Theories and American Democracy, World War I to 9/11, Oxford University Press.
Yeah, no, put that on the Google Doc.
That's on the TBR list. Easy.
Coming soon to a schizo podcast near you.
Yeah. Sounds fucking good.
I did coin a new phrase today that I'm pretty proud of. You and I are waxing schizophrenically.
We are. We're waxing on and waxing off schizophrenically.
R.I.P. Pat Morita.
Yeah, rip Pat Morita. Mentioned twice in this episode. It's a new high count. Pat Morita mentioned.
Everybody has your Pat Morita counters at home.
Days without Pat Morita being mentioned. Set it to 0. Reset the clock.
Stop the count.
While Olmsted interrogated the historicity and social function of conspiracy theories, in 2008, academic and cultural theorist Jack Bradich explored the way they challenged existing constraints placed upon the very possibility of belief itself. He posited that a conspiracy theory provides a way to discuss a number of issues, including race relations, globalization, biowarfare, and biomedicine. Even if they didn't get all the facts right, conspiracy theories posed a threat to the limits of acceptable belief and discourse by calling attention to the broader historical and sociocultural context surrounding them.
Alex Jones is helping you be defenestrated from the Overton window.
So true. The very label conspiracy theory functioned not only as a description of a certain kind of narrative, but also as a label deployed to disqualify certain topics from legitimate public discussion. The rash of criticism which followed the release of Stone's JFK revealed that its subject and its claims stood in direct opposition to existing yet often unperceived regimes of truth. For the reasons he conceived of conspiracy theory. In fact, regimes of truth is almost redundant because the only thing that the primary concern of the regime is maintaining maintaining and manufacturing consent, right?
Yeah, but it is a cool phrase. So.
It's a really cool phrase, but it is almost redundant. It is almost the regime. The whole thing is the narrative, right? And so, I mean, man, I would love to see a Wendy Painting analysis of the pandy, right?
Oh,
Just
well, she's got to do 9/11 first. It'll be her conspiracy trilogy. So she starts with Tim McVeigh, then imagine how long that fucking book will be on 9/11.
Unfinishable. Like literally, she could never complete it.
There's this whole middle part that's missing. It started with the word starts with an I. It's in the Middle East, and then and then it just blanks.
So it's actually just one word. the whole. What's the Cliff's Notes? Well,
the three eyes of conspiracy: Italians, intel agencies, and well,
blank.
You can guess the third one.
But I mean, just a cultural history of the pandemic showing which narratives, like a timeline of the narratives. Because if you were to just, I mean, you could probably just take New York Times headlines, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like early on, new virus spreading in China. President Trump wants to close the borders. He's a racist. You know what I mean? And do you remember when there
do you
people
remember
were like
hug a
lying?
Chinese person?
Yes,
day?
I was gonna say, yeah. Do you remember when people were literally just like finding a Chinese person to hug? That was fucking weird. Like that. What a strange and excessive response.
And then a couple weeks later, Stop Asian Hate happened.
I thought Stop Asian Hate was. I thought Stop Asian Hate happened in like 2021 because crimes against Asians, which are caused by the demographic that commits a lot of crime, rose as part of the Floyd effect.
Yes, no, I was making a joke, but you are 100% correct there. But yes, no, we had National Hug a Chinese Guy Day.
I was recently.
Which I mean is every day for Cap, but
I've recently visited San Francisco. Most of the city is as gross as you would expect. But Chinatown actually clean.
China number one.
China number one. China. Kill and eat the homeless so they don't have people shitting on the street in front of their businesses. The problem is that the Chinese are the only ones there who aren't libtards. So
China.
Yeah.
I can't wait for him to keep saying China again.
China.
I'm jonesing for some China.
Ready? I want to hear. I mean, we have a lot of like very unique voice physiognomies, or voxionomy. I don't know what you'd actually say there. In the administration now, and just getting a soundboard that's all of them saying China would be pretty good. RFK Jr. China. It's like his last words. Every single one of his words sounds like his last words.
His last.
For these reasons, he conceived of conspiracy theory as a struggle over meaning and suggested studying the specific narrative components of any given conspiracy theory, as well as where and when it appears, who speaks it, what else it is linked to, and what it opposes. Following is an attempt to answer this call and show how, even prior to the bombing, McVeigh was caught in the midst of and actively engaged in a number of already existing perception and meaning wars, many of which were amplified afterwards. And I mean, ultimately, this is why Alex Jones called his company InfoWars. That's what it
was
is.
a war of information.
Yeah. We are, or I mean,
Infowars.com.
and as who is
Get
it?
yourself some
The distributist enjoys saying, and I mean his meaning when he says this, as I understand it, is more narrow and specific. But I think he's right. We are in a war of belief, right?
Infowars.com.
Infowars.com.
Get yourself a supplement. Get yourself, you got free Trump t-shirts. They're not free. We want a free Trump.
Decalcify your pituitary gland.
Your pineal
gland. All of your glands. Decalcify all of them.
Except for the ones that need to be calcified. I'm not a doctor.
Some of the glands do need the calcium. They love calcium, folks.
We love our calcium.
We love our calcium, don't we, folks? All right. Just buy the dang filters. Man, you know what? I thought about getting a reverse osmosis filter
I
for the
have
house.
one. It's great.
Some of the plumbing in my house is PEX, though, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I only have it. I have it under my kitchen sink.
Fair enough.
And that's where I get all my drinking water from.
I have a separate filter. I have a separate multi-stage filter in my fridge, which goes into the ice and also comes out of the tap in the fridge. So that's where all the drinking water.
I don't like ice, so I never have to do that.
You don't like ice?
No, I like everything room temperature.
Are you a fucking European? Did I let European onto the channel?
My wife is European, so.
Oh God. Condolences that you have to deal with. I do not know what the fuck David means when he says Skywalker maxing.
Is it because I drink blue milk?
Maybe it's because you're moisture farming. I don't know. Yeah, not drinking ice is crazy. That's absolutely.
I mean, like, it's fine. I'm not like anti-ice. I just don't need it.
I don't know. It sounds like you're trying to walk this back, buddy. Start drinking some ice. When and if I meet you. When and if I meet you.
You're gonna put me on ice, pal?
I'm gonna put you on ice. Yep. We're gonna do a cryo plunge. We're gonna do the whole like Joe Rogan pod cycle. We're gonna get into a sensory deprivation tank. We're gonna do a sauna. We're gonna do a cold plunge. We're
gonna fight in the UFC.
We're gonna fight in the UFC. I've actually done a little wrestling myself, and I think I could take you. I mean, I know you were in the army, but I feel like I could still take you.
Yeah, you probably could. You'd have a good time doing it.
I would have a good time doing it. I'm real bad at sparring because I got a sadistic streak. If you couldn't tell. Well, all right, Ham, man. But no ice in drinks is 100% a Russian thing, except all of their drinks are inherently iced. When they left the frozen steppes and came down into the lowlands, and they were like, wait, your milk does not always have perfect skin of ice on top? They were flabbergasted. That's when they found out that people would in fact have to add ice to drinks because they weren't already half frozen.
Like that one scene in Kingdom of Heaven where Saladin brings ice. Like there's just a chest of ice that he has in the desert.
Oh, just as a flex?
Yeah, just as like a fuck you to the Crusaders. That movie has some really good moments, but is just terrible. It's just a terrible film. And bad for the culture.
Wrestling, very Midwest prairie coded. So true.
Iowa confirmed.
Midwest, mid-best. All right. The truth is out there. Immediately after his arrest, countless news reports linked McVeigh to certain conspiracy theories and the often right-leaning groups who propagated them. The tinfoil hat-wearing, pathological political paranoiac offenders typified by McVeigh reportedly saw black helicopters everywhere they looked, fearing UN troops would soon round up U.S. citizens and relocate them in concentration camps as part of the ever-dreaded New World Order.
Were they wrong?
Well, all right, black helicopters.
All
Black
right.
helicopters. Haven't seen a lot of those. We're seeing an awful lot of drones. So are the things that were previously presenting themselves as black helicopters
Now presenting as drones.
now presenting as drones?
Yep.
No one's mentioned that. You heard it here first, folks.
That's true.
People forgot about the black helicopters because black helicopters didn't fucking happen between 9/11 and the present. And so now we're on to drones.
And not for nothing. God, that would have been such a cool transformer. A drone.
What? Oh,
like a drone swarm that turned into a big robot.
I bet that fucking exists.
That has to exist. I get Mattel on the phone.
There's a Transformers show on TV right now. Your kid's just not old enough to watch it.
Get Mattel on the phone right now. Jamie, pull up Mattel.
Actually, you know what? I don't even think you can watch Transformers now because apparently they transed RC.
They transed a Transformer?
No. I'm not even kidding. Apparently they retconned the backstory. Okay, so I recently watched I recently watched The Last Things, last film festival, and Todd Lewis chose as his film the Transformers animated film from the 80s, right? Which I think we might have mentioned last time as well.
Yep. The last.
Everyone should go check out The Last Picture Show,
and everybody should just pour one out for Orson Welles.
Last performance. Also, biscuits and coffee. To be clear, just to defend my honor, I'm working on the breath control. It's actually an intentional thing, so I am not yawning like crazy anymore.
You would think with all the blowjobs you give, you'd be able to have that down pat.
Well, you see, fuck you. So anyway, the Todd Lewis thing. I went and I watched the Transformers animated movie. RC is the lady car that Hot Rod is going to give his hot rod to, and they're going to have little, I don't know, golf carts or whatever the fuck. However the fuck Transformers reproduce. And
he's got my carburetor.
But apparently now the backstory for RC is that all Transformers are inherently male, but RC had the mind of a female and rebuilt herself to be a lady. So now the current Hasbro canon is that RC is a drone.
So it's not even Mattel. All right.
Yeah. Sorry to break it to you, bud. Not even the Transformers. They're emphasizing
it's nothing sacred.
They're emphasizing that robots now have gender. That's right. You got to deal with that.
They're not in disguise anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure that the sound wave is a fucking they now or some shit. I'll bet you the goddamn drone swarm would be a they, which is at least more accurate.
There's several.
At least more accurate. Is actually plural.
All right. Anyway.
All right. Let's see. Black helicopters everywhere they looked, fearing UN troops would soon round up U.S. citizens and relocate them in concentration camps as part of the ever-dreaded New World Order. Nearly overnight, the bombing transformed conspiracy theorists into possible terrorists, and eventually, the U.S. State Department concluded that these subcultures of conspiracy and misinformation caused terrorism.
And that's basically every group chat I'm in.
If everyone believed everything we told them, no one would disagree with us, and therefore no one would have a contrary political beef, and they wouldn't use terrorism because they didn't have access to legitimate political means.
There, we just saved you 4 hours of Dave the Distributist versus Vocal Distance.
Oh my fucking god! Love the Distributist.
Love Dave.
Love him.
Hate everyone else.
Great guy. He needs to stop doing these debates. They're terrible.
They can't be good for his health either.
I would have a goddamn conniption fit. I would just start saying the gamer word over and over. Yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand why anyone would do these debates. Although he should debate Destiny, call him a gross pervert, and then hang up the hat. That's where that should be the goal. Make it happen. Distributus versus Destiny. That is your destiny.
Make Distributus great again.
Yep.
Where's his video essays?
The new batch of folk devils invigorated the Paranoid's counterparts. Folk devils. I dig folk devils.
So many band names coming out of this book.
Yeah, folk devils. Invigorated the Paranoid's counterpart. The folk devils sounds like a side project of Nick Cave, doesn't it?
I love Nick Cave.
It does, yeah. Invigorated the Paranoid's counterparts, the debunkers.
The debunkers.
I'm gonna debunk. Who in 1996 said conspiracy theories had spun out of control and had leaked into real world and created havoc.
The conspiracy theorists have gone nuts.
They have gone insane. Built from bad information clogging the roads of the emergent digital highway, they acted as thought contagions that spread information diseases. Works like JFK and the X-Files that exposed millions to their counter-narratives now became a source of transmission for the disease. McVeigh and his ilk possessed a form of dangerous knowledge, said to be infecting the mainstream on both the political left and right, and a conspiratorial ideology many now claimed led its adherents to commit hate crimes. This is just describing red pilling and is kind of true, to be honest.
All right, Wendy, you get this one.
You get this one. No, it's true. It's true. Once you notice, you have received cursed knowledge, and you can never stop
info hazard,
noticing.
right? I think
an info hazard.
I think David talks about that on Book Club from Hell.
Yeah, thank you, SCP Foundation 14-year-olds for coining cognito hazard. Yeah, but no, it is like
very cool.
Truly info hazardous. True info hazards do exist. Looking at FBI crime statistics is a thing that happens to a lot of people. Let's see. McVeigh and his ilk possess a form of dangerous knowledge said to be infecting the mainstream on both the political left and right, and a conspiratorial ideology many now claimed led its adherents to commit hate crimes. Conspiracy theories about McVeigh and the bombing co-opted counterterrorism discourses with their implied or stated claims about a government conspiracy that had actually allowed the bombing to occur, orchestrated it, and in either scenario now actively sought to cover up this fact. Ironically, and to McVeigh's frequently expressed dismay, conspiracy theories about the bombing incorporated him and his act into the very type of fantastical musings he enjoyed previously, but in a manner that sometimes deprived him of his intended legacy as a lone wolf bomber. While at least for a time, the Pack of Wolves narratives had not yet been labeled as conspiracy theory, the Watched Wolves and Guilty Agent narratives that appeared soon after the bombing were quickly dismissed as such. Debunked. Well, Guilty Agent, when is Guilty Agent ever not going to be part of a debunking, right? Like any true Guilty Agent story would have to be subjected to it would have to be part of an immediate debunking. Like, when would the FBI, like, it would literally have to be the head of the FBI, like, putting out a video and then doing the thing and then releasing a bunch of documents from the FBI's server showing that other people were involved. Like, it would,
we
it would
asked
have to
the
be
FBI and they said, stop looking into this. So we're going to take that as a no.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we could talk about the January 6th riot at the Capitol. How many FBI agents were there? And they were like, there were no FBI agents there. We just had a bunch of people who worked for the FBI but
They
didn't have
weren't
the
agents.
technical job description of an agent. That's what we had. It's like, wow, it took you guys 4 years to say that. How fucking weird. Oh, and then you had to revise the number because you didn't even know how many random assholes you had on the payroll in the crowd. So, yeah. Sorry. Anyway, that's what
Cap, take a
happens when you
breather.
have guilty. That's what happens when you have guilty agents. I'm pissed off about it. Yeah.
Have some of your ice water to cool off.
I'm drinking it. All right.
Glug.
Let's see. Pack of wolves, but as a guilty agent, that appeared were quickly dismissed as such. In the latter, McVeigh is depicted not as a lone wolf or even one within a pack of wolves, but as a guilty agent, a witting undercover operative for shadowy defense. Undercover operative for
I'm
shadowy
bombing here.
Hey, I'm undercover here. Don't look at me. Don't pay attention. For shadowy defense agencies in a nationwide sting operation that resulted in the bombing. The rapid spawning of these stories was reported less than a week after the bombing in the Wall Street Journal and the Las Vegas Review Journal, among other major media outlets, and within months were canonized in book form by author John Rappaport. Rappaport argued that the bombing and the cover-up of the bombing plot were part of a larger effort by disgraced federal government to make themselves look like heroes, demonize the Patriot movement, and pass anti-terrorism legislation, which would expand the budgets and powers of various government agencies, thereby allowing them to further suppress the movement.
And we would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for those meddling journalists and their dog.
While conceding that he didn't have all the facts just yet, Rappaport thought it likely that McVeigh himself, although he participated willingly, had not been fully aware of all the details of the plot and was only the visible face of a much larger government-sanctioned operation. Pretty plausible in my estimation. Oh yeah, Woodpit. We're not gonna get into that whole one, but the CCTV tracing from the pipe bomb, pretty damning. Maybe one day we will go through all
once
that.
Wendy Painting does her January 6th book.
Yeah, we are the Wendy. We stand Wendy Painting.
I would definitely listen to one of her lectures.
There's no way that she doesn't become more and more based throughout her life. There's no way that you can start noticing and not become based.
She just kind of fell off the face of the earth, though, didn't she?
She doesn't want to. Oh no, I believe she's still active on
X.com.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check out her timeline real quick because I don't get any of her posts.
Yeah. She retweeted someone yesterday. So
wow.
And she also posted about Roger Moore collecting interesting friends. Interesting.
What is she trying to tell me?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, still active. So, actually, she recently posted a full she posted some crank mail from. Oh, this is actually a good one. Hey Hudson, go to her. Here, I'll give you the link directly in the private chat.
Do you want me to share it?
I think so. It's pretty funny.
All right. Yeah. We are gonna share.
It's a single page.
Okay. Oh, ooh, yeah. Oh, I'm sharing that. Sorry, folks. We're sharing.
This is super on topic, actually.
Yeah. Ooh, to Steve Jones and the Tim McVeigh defense.
You got that dialed in so that you're sharing exactly what you plan to before I share your screen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No one needs to see my DMs.
Great. Okay. Hey, Alex Jones, right there, live right now. All right.
Infowars.com.
2. Stephen Jones and the Timothy McVeigh defense team. The Russian KGB was behind the Oklahoma City bombings, as implied by the Alexander City and Wenatchee Warner electromagnetic anti-gravity secret weapon attack patterns. Evidence is it's stamped over. LHEQ 4 through 5. The Oklahoma City bombing is linked to the Russian KGB earthquake, anti-gravity vibration warfare being waged against California and Japan by having the same type and pattern of its target selection numerology. Evidence is on pages LAEQ 1 through 5. The enclosed pamphlet explains the interrelated Russian occupation army plot and the concentration camp plot.
This reads like a lot of the DMs that I'll send people.
Yeah. This is your handwriting.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain this, Hudson?
Yeah. No, so that theory that I had about the birds being behind the Challenger explosion, I sent that to Bird from Timeline Earth.
Beautiful.
I've never interacted with him before, but I feel like the most underrated aspect of Twitter.com is you can just message people.
Yeah, you can just talk. You can just talk to people.
And you can just
do things. Don't do certain things.
Yeah, there are certain things you shouldn't do.
But you can do things in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forest fires, temperature extremes, jet stream, animal behavior changes. Man.
Yeah, the last thing that I wrote to him was I will be attaching the documents soon, and then I never attached the documents.
I'm gonna go for a walk, and then you fucked off for months. Yeah. Okay.
I've got the documents.
I've got the documents. Okay. Writing in a similar vein, Garvin Phillips offered additional possible motives for the government's intentional failure to prevent the bombing. They let it happen. Or direct participation in the bombing. They made it happen. Including the destruction of embarrassing records stored in the Murrah Building, such as those relating to Gulf War Syndrome or Waco. Phillips suggested that McVeigh was tricked by his government handlers into believing he was doing something good for his country by helping to foil a terrorist plot, the guilty agent story McVeigh himself first told. Like the Pack, Watched, and Guilty Agent narratives, experimental stories first appeared publicly within hours of McVeigh's arrest. Countless news reports detailed how, over the previous years, he had told a number of friends that the Army embedded a microchip in his buttock. For instance, on April 23, 1995, several news outlets quoted Michigan farmer Philip Morawski, who told reporters of McVeigh's claim that the government planted one of those chips that they have for identifying cattle, sheep, or goats, so the all-seeing eye of the government could keep an eye on him and know where he was. Morawski recalled McVeigh telling him that the chip sometimes caused a real sharp pain in his rear. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Yeah.
It's like when the undercover agent complains that the wires that the FBI put on him are way too itchy.
It's real itchy on my chest. That this tape they use is amazing. Yeah. The FBI's control plug is really stretching out my a-hole.
Ew.
The same day the FBI received that's Destiny. That's how he gets all of his that's how he gets all his talking points. Yeah, is it all of his no, is it compromat? Is it compromat if you're deliberately filming yourself sucking cock? It's not really. Like
children may not listen to this show, Cap, but that doesn't mean we have to degrade ourselves into filth.
I don't know. Do women or sorry, not women. Well, I mean, what's
easy there?
Really? Do children not listen to this show? Because we got some weird subs recently. I think those are federal agents, personally. But who knows? Who knows?
Shout out to Cap's new best friend.
Oh God, shut the fuck up. Disavow. Do not talk to me. Let's see. You're free
Our
to
operators are standing by.
Operators are standing by. The same day, the FBI received a phone call from Linda Thompson, an Indianapolis attorney, militia spokesperson, and producer of the popular underground conspiracy documentary Waco, The Big Lie, one of McVeigh's favorites, according to FBI report. Thompson advised that the psychiatrist brought in to examine Timothy McVeigh was John Jolyon West, is actually a CIA operative who was responsible for implanting microchips in Army personnel in an experiment called MK Ultra, which is true, which is
All true.
entirely true, not
Completely
made
true.
up. Jolly West,
Definitely did that. The best,
yeah, actual mad scientist Jolly West.
the most authoritative source on that, of course, is Chaos by Tom O'Neill.
Is it the most authoritative? Do you think
I'd say so.
it's up there? I mean, a lot of people have written on MK Ultra at this point,
No,
but
I know, but his was like the least out to lunch, I'd say, and it's just
okay.
like this book. It's very well documented,
It was also
and
written before all of the MK Ultra documents were declassified.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
many
it
had
got
been
published in.
declassified,
I
but
think it got published in like 22, but he'd been writing it for like 20 years.
right. Yeah, and I mean, they're still continuing to declassify MK Ultra documents,
The
which
only
is
reason that we
fucking
know that
wild.
it existed is because somebody forgot to burn one piece of paper that said MK Ultra on it. I think it was even like a budgeting piece of paper or something.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And they were like, "What the fuck is this?" FOIA requests. Weird. It's weird that they ever respond to FOIA requests. They do require some hand wringing.
It's also weird that the government has this game where it's like, we're not going to tell you anything, but if you can guess what it is, then we'll tell you.
It's like a yeah, like a goddamn genie. Like you should just submit FOIA requests that are
Like,
auto-generated with like random text strings.
oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we'll use Grok. Okay, everybody, this is what we're gonna do. This is the Library of Mass Destruction's next project. Everybody, because Grok is free now, everybody ask Grok to create a list of possible FOIA request names, and then we'll all mail them to the government and see what we get back.
It costs money, you know.
All right, don't do that. Send the money
No,
to
do
us,
that.
and
People do,
we'll
yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
Okay, yeah. No, we won't. we we
But
probably
but
won't do
but then
that.
I'll keep the money.
Okay, yes. Great. So we'll investigate by reading published material in book form over
Huh.
many months.
Huh, what you're saying is Operation Fuzzy Nipple is not a government conspiracy. Okay.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. All right. Uh she said that West did this to McVeigh during an outpatient procedure that took 20 minutes. She then urged the FBI to prevent West from removing the chip so the FBI could determine what the CIA had done to McVeigh. The FBI report noted that Thompson's allegations had been subsequently printed in the following day's newspaper, the Indianapolis Star.
Okay, this is
Uh,
also the 90s. How did she know all of that?
what?
Everything about the microchip and the uh and Jolly like if she was just making stuff up, that's
Yeah, well, how did she even know? Well, so, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how did she find out the
okay,
information or
so
just start
the
making shit up?
the microchip um the microchip may or may not be real. It's not entirely clear whether or not the microchip stuff was real.
I believe
Obviously, Jolly West was part of MK Ultra, right? It is weird that he is fucking involved in this, right? At
every
all.
time
It's
he
yeah,
had
it
just
is.
gotten done with Jack Ruby and
Yeah, yeah. He is. If anything he has done, I would not trust this guy's fucking dry cleaner. You know, like eh, wherever Jolly West bought his fucking groceries is clearly compromised. So, uh, his involvement is inherently suspicious. So it's not really clear what if anything he could or would have done to McVeigh, but anything he would have done, you should interpret as uh, deeply compromising. He could have just been bringing a fucking message for all we know. But yeah.
well, yeah, the message is you are now a subject of the government. Ooga booga.
Ooga booga.
And that's how you MK Ultra
Close your
someone.
third goddamn eye for a reason. Yeah. All right. The majority of media reports and commentary about McVeigh's preaching of conspiracy theories highlighted the peculiar subculture that those like him and Thompson inhabited, posited the dangers posed by their beliefs, and dismissed the theories and claims as outlandish. Undeterred, conspiracy genre writers continued to examine and expound upon this topic, however speculatively. Some experimental wolf accounts depict Calspan, a defense establishment research facility where McVeigh briefly worked after leaving the army, as instrumental in the bombing story. In such stories, Calspan becomes a staging ground for darker and more sinister tales, wherein McVeigh acts as an unwitting puppet controlled by mysterious and faceless handlers, often Jolly West, sanctioned and funded by government black budgets. In addition, while so-called credible mainstream commentators briefly note, nice, bang, Wendy
The
Painting spitting,
lamestream media.
she's spitting.
She woke.
So-called credible mainstream commentators briefly note McVeigh's assignment at Calspan. They view it as as inconsequential to both the bombing and ideology he harbored. In 1999, the prominent conspiracy genre writer Jim Keith opined there is a possibility McVeigh was purposefully washed out of Special Forces training, recruited into a secret specialized unit, then sent to Calspan for indoctrination training, or, as McVeigh believed, to have his tracking control device implanted in his body. The following year, in Alex Constantine's book entitled Timothy McVeigh's Rise from Robotic Soldier to Mad Bomber, one chapter speculates about McVeigh's a little wordy, yeah. Speculates about, it seems like that should be a subtitle, doesn't it? It seems like you should have had like one really strong thing, and then that should have been the subtitle.
Automaton.
God damn it.
Timothy McVeigh's Rise from Robotic Soldier to Mad Bomber. Tell me that doesn't work.
Kind of. Wood chips. Wood pit. Yeah. What would the microchip be? GPS. A lot of questions about what exactly that would be and what they would have been capable of at that
Especially
time period.
Time,
yeah, at the time.
So they definitely had the capability to do GPS, right?
But they didn't have like the battery capacity.
Well, think about it like it could even. First of all, what the government has is typically like 20 years ahead of what is out in in the public.
Okay.
Right.
So let's say it's like an AirTag.
Yeah, it could be an AirTag, or it could be, I don't know,
like an air, or I mean, let's say it's because an AirTag is basically one of those tracking chips that they put in.
It could have been nothing. They could have just put something in his butt to mess with him.
I mean, it also could have been a slow release. It might not have been a microchip.
That's
some sort of slow release hormonal or psychological agent, right? Like, just it could have. I mean, literally,
how some spies have like a false tooth with a cyanide capsule in it.
They gave him a false ass.
It's in his false ass.
They gave him a false ass. It's just
like, I need you to get the cyanide pill out of my ass.
It's just like a fucking trunk. There's like a latch. You press one mole and pull a hair on his butt cheek, and it just all lifts up, and it's just full of pills.
Or like the little alien from Men in Black.
Oh yeah, just driving him, but it's in his ass.
It's in his ass.
It's in his ass.
All theories are welcome on LMD.
Look, I mean, people nowadays intentionally implant themselves with fucking
cybernetics.
People intentionally implant themselves with like birth control.
Yeah, no, it reminds me. Insane. It reminds me of a short story by T.R. Hudson that
weaponized butt from Woodpit farts
that this channel hated.
Oh yeah.
Interview with the cyborg.
Yeah. Just had a nice big drink of water.
Oh, good for you. No, but my favorite theory, and therefore the one that is true, is that the microchip was real, but it didn't do anything. It was like Sputnik.
It was just to see if we could like implant something that wouldn't get rejected by his body.
Just to fuck with him.
Just to see what it is. Yeah. They shoved Sputnik in my asshole. Oh yeah, they do have pain medication pumps now too. Yeah, that like and the insulin blood glucose monitors. Maybe they were just worried he was maybe pre-diabetic. They wanted to keep him healthy. They were just checking. Let's see. Rise to Power, Soldier Mad Bomber. One chapter speculates about McVeigh's possible experiences as a security guard at the Buffalo-based defense contractor. Constantine, like Keith, found it both conceivable and technically feasible that McVeigh was implanted with a telemetry chip drawn into... That is just a fucking air tag. Why the fuck do we ever stop? We could just read it.
God bless you. God bless you, Wendy Painting.
Yeah, drawn into an experimental black project at CalSpan, and in combination with more traditional behavioral modification techniques, remotely controlled and transformed into a robotic super soldier, some sort of automaton. In this
story,
sounds
like someone wrote a book about that.
In this story and stories like it, CalSpan, with a little rumored help from the notorious West, fanned McVeigh's rage. Referring to McVeigh's leaked confession just prior to his trial, Cold Warrior USMC retired Mustang Major Dick Culver, in his 1997 essay, The Saga of Lee Harvey, wrote, "Quite frankly, I wouldn't believe McVeigh if he confessed that his real name was Timothy McVeigh. Here's a gent held away
Here's a
gent held away from prying eyes for almost 2 years and available for the gentle ministrations of a group of brainwashing experts that make the Chinese communists look like kindergarten.
The Chi-Coms."
Culver said McVeigh probably believed he was, in fact, a lone wolf bomber, so much so that Culver was willing to bet money that if given a lie detector test to this effect, McVeigh would pass. He didn't. By now, Culver reasoned, McVeigh could be programmed to say and believe that black is white. Confessions are strange things indeed. Major Culver knows this because as an intelligence officer in Vietnam and therefore an insider, he had access to several North Vietnamese prisoners of war who, within the space of approximately 2 hours, confessed to the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. If you ask the right questions and offer proper alternative incentives, virtually anyone can be made to say anything and believe it. Writing shortly before McVeigh's trial began, Culver outlined various potential outcomes. One was that either through another programmed killer or his own self-destruction, McVeigh, like Oswald, would be silenced before his day in court. He accurately predicted the actual outcome, writing, "The ideal solution from a conspiracy standpoint would be McVeigh's conviction, speedy execution, and voila, case closed."
Another one bites the dust.
They all fall like a house of cards. Checkmate.
Shine my medal.
In his 2004 update, Culver pointed out that McVeigh effectively silenced himself when he dropped his appeals and requested his execution to move forward. In both his original 1997 and later updated experimental ruminations, Culver described Dr. Jolly West, who, he reminded readers, also happened to be Jack Ruby's former psychiatrist, was a proponent of mind control, biochips, and therefore McVeigh's most likely mind controller. In Culver's theory, McVeigh's handlers recruited him to be the new straw man and patsy for the bombings based on his history of following orders and because they knew he would not ask too many questions about his mission. In keeping with the experimental wolf formula, Culver highlights the history of CIA's MKUltra program to justify his allegations about Dr. West. Although Culver notes that West denied rumors he had examined McVeigh at Tinker Air Force Base immediately after his arraignment, Culver dismisses the denial as just another part of the cover-up. According to Culver, McVeigh was probably guilty of at least driving the Ryder truck, but behind the scenes and throughout the entire operation, he had been under the influence of brainwashing by puppeteers working at the behest of still other invisible conspirators, whose motives included the demonization and targeting of militias and passage of counterterrorism legislation.
I wonder what this guy thought of Y2K.
Oh, man. Y2K is a great one.
Oh, yeah, no, and the voice you do reminds me of Fry's dad from Futurama.
Y2K. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. The Y2K. His activation phrase was, Boy, that Italian family at the next table sure is quiet. Great.
Maybe that's what I'll put in the Automaton sequel.
Italians?
No, God, no.
Let's see. Over time, experimental stories gained momentum as their details became even more bizarrely tangled and convoluted. Blogger Sherman H. Skolnick's June 2001 envisioning of the bombing scenario involves a pack of watched wolves wherein experimental Wolf McVeigh is under... Wolf McVeigh should be the name of your next protagonist.
You got it. All right, writing that down right now. Wolf McVeigh. And I deleted it.
And print. Snake Plissken is under surveillance by the CIA and FBI and brainwashed by unknown individuals. Similar to David Hoffman's writing, Skolnick reconciled countless sightings of McVeigh in different locations at the same time by suggesting that, like Oswald, the real McVeigh was brainwashed, while imposter McVeighs roamed the country, making their presence known as part of a staged espionage event that intentionally or not, and for any number of reasons, spun out of control.
Are we getting a multiple Tim theory?
The multiple Tims, pack of wolves, or pack of same wolf.
So any Timeline Earth fans know that they're the progenitors and proprietors of the multiple Joe Biden theory. That
I do love the multiple Joe Bidens.
It's such a shout out Timeline Earth, great guys.
I gotta tell you guys, you are not accounting for the possibility of facelifts or for the sagging caused by multiple small strokes. Just saying.
No.
Making the same comparison between the Mitch McConnell of today and the Mitch McConnell of 4 years ago.
No, because he looks different on like the same day.
The same day, you think?
Yeah. There are pictures of Joe Biden taken from like one part of the White House, and then he's like on the Rose Garden or whatever, and they look like two different people. One of those guys is Chinese.
One of them is Chinese. Oh, that's a good one.
That's Chinese Joe.
Yeah. Chinese. That's the Asian one. They were just like they couldn't stop themselves from DEIing the body double.
Yeah, I'm telling you. If you look into the multiple Joe conspiracy theory, you'll all of these questions are answered.
Okay.
Yes, that is true. They did have it. They did explain it on Jay Bourbon, and yes, you are correct. It's very entertaining. Well done, biscuits and coffee.
I need to listen to that one. Have not.
You know what? Let's give biscuits and gravy a wrench too. Fuck it.
Everyone in chat gets mod
if you're
powers.
Listening today,
just
you get
fucking all of chat is everyone gets mod powers. And
everyone's banning each other.
Yeah, everyone's banning. It's a battle royale. Like chat is just a battle royale. That's how every show ends from now on. All right. Let's see. McVeigh's handlers. Let's see. A stage espionage event that intentionally or not, and for any number of reasons, spun out of control. In Skolnick's estimation, McVeigh's handlers include Iraqi military officers apparently evidenced by George Bush's former business relationship with Saddam Hussein and his, Cheney's, and Hillary Clinton's connections to a French company that sold chemicals to Iraq. I mean, if Hillary Clinton's implicated, I believe it.
Yep,
that's
even
done. I'm on board.
I believe that she jaywalked, even if she was in a wheelchair.
I mean, you can jaywalking isn't literal. You can jaywalking just means you cross the street, not at a designated crosswalk.
I thought jaywalking was when Jay Leno did his man in the street bit in the 90s.
Well, yeah, that would be a pun he used because they needed a title for the segment. I'm not going to who's on first you here. I'm not going to do it.
I was always more of a Conan guy.
Yeah, he was better. He was better until he touched the Tonight Show, and then he got unfunny. The Tonight Show is cursed. Ever since
Johnny Carson.
Yeah, ever since Carson left, it has literally never been funny.
Apparently, Jay Leno is very funny.
I'm sure that he's funny not on the Tonight Show, but he was not funny on the Tonight Show.
He jaywalked, so
Oh God,
Jay run. Yes. Yes. We're gonna turn this franchise around.
Hillary Clinton would have you, Jay, go to the polls. Sorry. That was the worst one. That was the worst one yet.
Jay walked to the polls.
Jay walked to the polls. Yes, Woodpit. He wrote for The Simpsons during the Golden Age. Yep, during the Golden Age of The Simpsons. And I'm gonna continue to say that The Simpsons used to be good and Futurama is fine, because I am a millennial, and one of the things that my generation is forced to do
is defend the old Simpsons and talk about how much we love Futurama.
Yep. You just got sorry guys. Certain IPs used to be good.
I have to. I mean, I'm contractually obligated by the year of my birth to defend these things.
Yeah, they killed Apu. They fucking killed Apu. I can't.
And then everybody started hating Indians like a year later.
Yeah, I hate them because they killed Apu.
The problem with Apu is.
The problem with Apu is that he is being played by a Jewish man.
He has never thrown poo-poo at anyone in The Simpsons.
Why does he shit in the toilet? It is an inaccurate cultural representation. He should be shitting on the street.
He has never once called anyone my friend.
He uses tongs to pull hot dogs off of the roller griller. He does not use his dirty shit-covered hands. Okay. Among McVeigh's conspirators are some of the more than 4,000 Iraqi defectors relocated in the U.S. after the Gulf War, some in Oklahoma City. In a sense, Skolnick redeems McVeigh's earlier killings in the Gulf War by resurrecting and vindicating the dead Iraqis and rendering them co-conspirators in a plot against the U.S. government. Skolnick concluded his account by describing the elaborate staging and spectacle of McVeigh's execution and asking whether or not the real McVeigh was ever even put to death at all. As it turns out, although unknown to Skolnick, both the FBI and McVeigh's defense attorneys had conducted their own investigations into possible McVeigh doppelgangers, and occasionally McVeigh himself wondered about them. I love, never become... Iraq, Saddam Hussein did Oklahoma City is maybe my favorite.
Yep.
My favorite conspiracy theory.
And therefore
it's true. And therefore it is now true.
Oh, that's great.
Let's see. According to Catherine Olmsted, with the passage of the 1966 Freedom of Information Act, average Americans gained the power to access information and, with it, to construct their own alternative narratives about national events. While the Jones team's quest for McVeigh's recordings or the anomalous but overlooked information in the portions obtained were unknown to Devi Kidd, she was so convinced that McVeigh wasn't himself, had a look-alike, and a biochip in his rear end, courtesy of the U.S. Army, that in 2002 she filed a FOIA request for his military records. She sought his separation from the U.S. Army, deployment, and medical records, detailing the insertion of a microchip, a biochip, or any other object foreign to the human body, the surgical or other methods used to implant this device, and those that document any visits, phone calls, or correspondence with Dr. Louis Jolyon Jolly West. A series of refusals, denials, and contradictory responses by the Army followed, along with her further appeals. Although unknown to her, Kidd sought many of the same records the Jones team did not possess and similarly failed to obtain. But we do know that Jolly
yes.
West,
well,
in fact, definitively did interview McVeigh.
Yep. Jolly West did OKC.
Jolly West and Saddam Hussein, have they ever been in the same room together at the same time?
Actually, yes.
Same man?
Yes, right before the execution. Jolly West made sure Saddam admitted to everything.
That would be so wild if the answer was yes, but I'm pretty sure Jolly West was dead by the time Saddam
Safely,
Hussein was
safely
found.
dead. Now
Yeah.
now he's brainwashing people in hell.
Yep. Satan's like, oh my God, finally, my top guy is here.
Whoa, can I get your autograph, sir?
Whoa, I'm Satan's top guy. Satan needs me. I gotta brainwash people in hell. All right.
You're actually in heaven.
Oh, you're in heaven. You're in heaven.
I've seen this episode of The Twilight Zone.
Kissinger's like, there's no way. You can't fool me, Jolly, you old dog. I know all your tricks. The possibility that McVeigh, like Elvis, was still alive gained traction, even though conspiracy theory writers did not know that McVeigh himself entertained the possibility that his execution might be faked. In September 2001, Weekly World News, rest in peace, Weekly World News.
We can revive it.
But where is Bat Boy? Bat Boy is now Batman. Published that Bat Boy Transitions is now Batwoman.
Oh wow, Weekly World News is still alive as a website.
But not as a public. It's about the publication.
And I think the National Enquirer is still around.
Really?
You know. Zombie wedding. Get ready for the wedding of your undead life.
Wow. Actually, you know what? It looks pretty good, to be honest. I'll watch that later. That's going in the queue.
New Jersey couple ties the knot during a zombie apocalypse.
Huh. Missed that apocalypse. I didn't notice it. Although there are drones. Wait, is there a drone story? Oh, do you see what I see? Drones actually Santa's new tech.
Children's card game Go Fish outlawed by Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Amazing. These are so good.
Man who wrote the New Testament still alive.
Great.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John.
All of these
friends call him
like
Skippy.
All of these fucking images that they have now are just AI generated, and it's like first prompt response. No second try. It's great. New app allows you to trade cryptocurrency for compliments. That is every app, by the way. Yeah. You can actually trade cryptocurrency.
They're really on a zombie thing. Zombie human marriage declared unconstitutional. Zombies without borders.
I mean, they probably just kind of throw.
They really just want to say immigrants, but
these really could be. These could be AI generated. Like, would you think that they would not?
Oh, the pictures are just story.
I mean, obviously the pictures are, but they would totally AI generate the stories too, right?
Anna Kendrick has been quietly dating this giant lizard with a pig's tail for years. Here's how they met.
Amazing. Okay.
11 hints you might be descended from aliens.
Thank God for Weekly World News. All right. In September 2001. Wait a minute. What else happened in September 2001? I'm sure I'll remember. Weekly World News public. Oh, right. Forget. Here's what happened.
The Yankees lost the World Series.
Weekly World News published their second exclusive expose about this, and entitled "Timothy McVeigh is Alive." Within days of the bombing, the report said the real McVeigh received silicon injections to change his facial features, had his fingerprints altered, and was then whisked away to a secure location, believed to be the super secretive U.S. Air Force base north of Las Vegas known as Area 51, where he assumed a new identity. Oddly, just prior to McVeigh's originally scheduled execution date of May 15, 2001, the DOJ announced the existence of documents prosecutors failed to turn over during discovery and issued a new date of June 11, 2001 for the execution. Perhaps not knowing about the delay, the tabloid Weekly World News published an image of an ostensibly dead McVeigh on his morgue slab while he was still alive. Or was he?
Well, they didn't have an AI image generator back then, so.
Yep. Experimental wolf speculations about McVeigh in the conspiracy genre apparently inspired Tracy Letts' play Bug, 1996.
Let's Play Bug?
Let's play
We're
Bug.
doing a let's play of Bug.
We're doing a let's play, guys. And it's 2006 movie adaptation. Interesting. Might have to get that one for drive
time movie night.
Yeah.
Bug.
Over time, Bug's protagonist Peter explained to his friend Agnes that after World War II, the CIA brought Nazi scientists into the States to work with the American military at Calspan. Project Paperclip was real, and but I don't know if they worked at Calspan, where they eventually developed.
PatCon. Paperclip was the World War II Nazis coming over.
That's what I said.
You said Paperclip. PatCon is what we're talking about.
No, but it said what? CIA brought Nazi scientists to the States.
Oh, so it did.
Yeah.
So they did.
Yeah. What the fuck? Where they eventually developed the intelligence manned interference biochip, a subcutaneous transponder, a computer chip imprinted with living brain cells. This chip, when implanted in human bodies, tracks and controls individuals through electronically emitted signals. But the design was flawed, unable to get to everybody. They need a chip that will self-perpetuate, that will spread like a virus, a living, breathing parasite. Wait a minute. Why does ivermectin work? Never mind. That's an anti-parasitic, isn't it? My God. I don't actually believe that. The mad scientists responsible for this project needed lab rats, and they found us. Me in the Gulf and another soldier working at Calspan at the time, Tim McVeigh.
Oh.
An anguished Peter goes on to tell Agnes how military doctors ship them off to Groom Lake, Area 51, where
Why
scientists
are they grooming a lake?
Well, you never know. Maybe you could
transit into an ocean.
You transit into a river. Like, I identify as a river. You're a stationary body of water. I can be a river.
I can move. Just wait for the moon.
I want to empty into the sea. Let's see. Where scientists inserted tracking chips under their skin and used them to conduct mind control experiments. They turned us into fucking zombies, remote-controlled assassins. Although Peter thwarted their efforts by finding his chip and cutting it out, they found him and sent him back to the lab for a new experiment involving the more advanced IMI biochip to track him.
I will say that the idea of a biochip mind-controlling soldiers made Star Wars: The Clone Wars TV show really good. Good soldiers follow orders.
Did they have biochips?
They did, yeah. Yeah, they had these biochips that made them turn on the Jedi and do Order 66.
Oh, so it wasn't just an order. They weren't just like conditioned. They actually
originally they were conditioned to just do it, and they were like fully aware that they were going to do it the whole time. But it got softly retconned so that they didn't know it was going to happen, because I guess they wanted the clones to. Like, they wanted people to like the clones.
They needed them to be sympathetic, and if they were going to tell clone stories, they also couldn't
be villains. Even though I think it's better storytelling if they knew the whole time that they were going to kill these guys.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, but also them having there be dramatic irony. You get better stories, right? So. Yeah.
Beaver's in the chat. Thank you, Recorded.
Beaver's in the chat. Jay Bourbon mentioned.
Jay Bourbon mentioned.
Jay Bourbon. All right. Let's see here. Until this writing, there has been no examination, comparison, and contextual analysis of the thematic elements found in guilty agent and experimental wolf narratives about McVeigh, and no substantial factual analysis of those that include claims about Calspan or Dr. West or his fictional counterparts. While experimental wolf narratives tend to rely solely on speculation, and the majority seem to make outlandish leaps of logic, a close examination of counter-narratives about the Oklahoma bombing and Timothy McVeigh reveals sound reasons, or at least identifiable ones, for their existence, even if they are not true. Such stories, no matter how seemingly fantastical, provide a window through which to explore ongoing collective tensions, fears, and aspirations, and the limits of their articulation. On a practical level, however, purportedly true accounts as well as fictional works echo the very claims made by McVeigh himself, publicly and privately, prior and after to his arrest. All right. I think we can get through a couple more sections, maybe make it to the breakdown.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we got 25 minutes.
Yep, we got you. Alrighty. Okay, let's see. Part 2, washed up war hero Rent-A-Cop. That's a good sequel to
RoboCop.
I was gonna I was thinking like the trilogy ender for Paul Blart.
No, the sci-fi.
You know, like add another guy is what I'm saying.
You know how the Sci-Fi Channel has their shitty sort of copies of science fiction films, and then they have terrible names. This is Washed Up Hero Rent-A-Cop instead of RoboCop.
Washed up war hero Rent-A-Cop. Washed up war hero Rent-A-Cop. Washed up war hero Rent-A-Cop.
Hero with a pistol. Fat guy power.
Like most of them. Yeah. Introduction. In January 1992, Timothy McVeigh returned to his hometown of Pendleton, New York, feeling, according to Stickney, like a failure who had been used as a pawn in George Bush's bullshit Gulf War.
House of Cards. Checkmate.
In Ham's evaluation, the period following his return home marked the next crucial stage of the post-traumatic stress disorder, the atrophy of his mind and body. For Herbeck and Michelle, this began This began the most disappointing time of his life. Over the next 13 months, it would drive him into a deep depression. For Timothy McVeigh, the American dream was dead, buried in the sands of the Persian Gulf.
Like so many Iraqis.
Oh man, Woodpit, I so remember when RoboCop shot that guy in the dick. And in fact, last night after Drive Time movie night,
Transformer.
No, last time after Drive Time movie night, Mike of Pole, PCM Christ, and I watched that scene from our RoboCop remake. Which, if you haven't seen it, our RoboCop remake was done like probably like 10, 12 years ago, where a bunch of like YouTubers basically did a scene for scene reshoot of RoboCop. And when whoever did that scene, I don't even know who did that scene, they basically added a lot more guys. And so it becomes incredibly comedic. And at one point, he's just like spinning in a circle, just shooting full auto with 2 pistols and just shooting rapist dicks over. There's like 100 of them. It's amazing.
That's great.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, highly recommended. Highly recommended. Oh, Mittens posts that clip all the time. There we go. Yeah, no, it's so good. Actually, the whole thing is worth a watch, to be honest. Anyway, when he decided to leave the army, McVeigh incorrectly assumed his military training and status of war hero would expand his opportunities for well-paying, secure employment in the civilian world. Like many returning Gulf War veterans, he faced record low national employment rates and hiring freezes. Reflective of the country's overall lackluster economy, the Buffalo Niagara region was experiencing high unemployment rates, 6.9% in November 1991, and declining property values. Further, analysis anticipated the loss of 1.3 million defense industry jobs nationwide, a circumstance that led to calls for the grafting of defense jobs onto new civilian economy. Only by the grace of his current Department of Defense security clearance status and New York State concealed pistol permit did McVeigh obtain a job, picking up where he had left off, working for $5 an hour as an armed security guard, this time for Burns International Security. Ugh.
$5 an hour.
$5 a fucking hour.
30 years ago, that's probably not terrible.
Jamie, you want to do the inflation adjustment from January 1992 to the present day, what $5 an hour is?
Yeah, Jamie.
He also joined the New York State National Guard, NYNG. Stickney attributed this to
January when? 1992. 92 in
December 2024.
they don't have data for December.
Well, sure, but as close as we can
$5 back then has the same buying power as $11 today.
Wow.
So actually not terrible.
No, that's pretty. That's fucking. That's lower than minimum wage where I am.
No.
Not where you are.
No. Because I work for a living.
Oh, okay.
These hands aren't just for typing, boy.
They're also for tugging.
Boy chick.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's it's just about or slightly less than minimum wage where I am. So.
Oh, you live in one of those commie states?
I'm pleased to say I don't.
Forces a $15 minimum wage.
Oh God, no, it's not that bad. Anyway, he also joined the
Northwest Capitalisimo.
Let's see, $8 an hour was decent hourly for low-level jobs here in '92. What
requited?
What region?
Mexico.
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine making $8 an hour in Mexico in '92. You'd probably
$8 American dollars or
living high on the hog.
8 Mexican pesos.
No, eight American dollars. Probably living real high on the hog. I think they've gone through 2 different complete currency cycles since then. So
high on the hog. That
high on the hog,
buddy. That's my Mexican wife.
Oh man, greasers could be here. Samuel Chamberlain. All right. He also joined the New York State National Guard. Stickney attributed this to boredom. McVeigh simply had too much idle time. In keeping, which is weird because pretty sure that was part of his discharge, but in keeping with his usual inconsistencies, McVeigh told multiple stories about signing up for the National Guard, his job duties there, and the conditions and reasons he left. To Otto and Coyle, his original public defenders, as well as allegedly to Hammer, McVeigh claimed that when he was recruited oh no! That when he was recruited into an undercover mission during sassafras at Fort Bragg, he received orders to report to the New York National Guard. He told the Jones team that Fort Bragg, yeah. He joined to keep his rank of sergeant and his retirement benefits. To his biographers, he said the primary reason was to supplement his low-paying job at Burns. His security guard job at Burns initially entailed a stint as a night watchman at the Buffalo Zoo and an occasional security and crowd control detail at the Niagara Falls Convention Center for events like World Wrestling Federation matches and monster truck rallies. Buffalo Zoo night watchman sounds fucking Keno, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was a young guy and I, if you had to be working minimum wage as a young guy, that sounds pretty fucking nice, actually.
What's your boyfriend do? Oh, he's the security guard at the zoo.
Yeah, it's like that's neat, right? Like you can get a girlfriend. You can get a girlfriend saying that.
I mean, yeah. Tim couldn't, but someone could.
Yeah, well, Tim could. I mean, if Tim was like, "So, my friend's wife, I'm the security guard at the zoo."
Hey, that's my friend's son.
Events like let's also working security for a WWF match would fucking blow dicks, though.
Yeah, maybe. No. Well, I don't know. I feel like Gio would have a great time doing that.
I mean, look, I will go to a monster truck rally. I will go to a pro wrestling event. Those are both fun. It just seems like that those crowds would be uniquely fucking tough to deal with. Like, I just think that those crowds are probably going to be pretty amped up and aggressive and drunk. So
True.
That would fucking suck. However, only weeks after he began the job at Burns, his employers noticed signs of stress and anxiety, and sometimes McVeigh confused appropriate civilian versus military protocols when interacting with the public. His favorite he kept assigning members of the public to a 10-mile ruck. And sometimes McVeigh confused, let's see. His favorite assignment from Burns was the Buffalo Zoo. But after receiving a series of prank phone calls and tracing them to a former disgruntled employee, McVeigh called the man's home and told his mother that if the calls didn't stop, he would burn down their house. Fucking more security guards need to be like this, actually. He's going above and beyond. That's great. I will find you. I have a very specific set of skills that could make me a lot of that could make me very I don't know what it is. Dangerous for someone like you. Let's see. Hey baby, want to see the monkeys? You come straight to the monkey
Hey,
house.
where are the monkeys?
People, I trained him to say that. His burn supervisor, Linda Hanner Melly, I don't know. We'll go with Linda. Linda told the New York Times that finding McVeigh to be a little too intense for the public, she pulled him from public events in Erie and Niagara County. While a good employee, always prompt and neatly dressed, he had some quirks. He just couldn't deal with people. He wasn't a person I could trust to put in a high pressure area. If someone didn't cooperate with him, he would start yelling at them, become verbally aggressive. He could be set off too easily. She described him as a loner, follower, not a leader. If you said, Tim, watch this door, don't let anybody through, he did well, but he could not seem to handle situations where he had to react in a split second.
I feel like that's your real voice.
This became apparent to her during one convention center event when, while checking the identification of a 15-year-old girl, he blew up. Timmy snapped, said Linda. He was very upset. It was like night or day. I worry about him getting out of control. After this incident, she only posted him to low-stress, low-profile environments, such as guarding the back door at crowded events. McVeigh, however, told a place where you will never encounter underage people trying to get in. McVeigh, however, told his biographers
I wonder
that
if he did the original Navy SEAL meme at that girl.
Do you have any idea? Yeah. That the crowd made him nervous, so he requested assignments with limited public interaction. Still, her observations were consistent with those of McVeigh's friends, family, cohorts, and his legal team, all of whom noticed a unique character trait. His successes and ability to lead seemed to depend upon his having practiced, rehearsed, memorized, and perfected with precision tasks required of him. But when unexpectedly asked to articulate what he knew or act spontaneously, he had great difficulty, became impatient, and got upset if things did not go by the book. Tim McVeigh's real strength, they said, was in following orders, not necessarily giving or getting others to follow them, a trait that comes to bear on the bombing, his particular role in it, and later construction of non-lone wolf theories and narratives about it. Yeah. Well,
yeah, you want to cut it off here?
I think this is a good spot. The political stressors of Tim McVeigh. We can start up there in the new year. Yeah,
will we make it to 2025?
Will we make it to 2025, friends? I think we will. I hope I will. I will spend some time traveling. And are you traveling? You gonna go see the extended fam? They coming to you?
No. I decided to
give me the exact address.
I decided to stay in my cabin in the woods and return some videotapes.
Cool. Yep, got some tapes to return. We are gonna be on the road again. It just feels great to be on the road again. So we're gonna be out and about. So unfortunately, that means we will not be able to have an episode next week. But we will be back with you on the 2nd of January. Yeah. You got anything coming up? Any new any cannon fodder episodes? Anything to tide the folks over?
Yeah, so I have an episode. I have 2 episodes in the can, ready to go. Actually, one of them is on Lord of the Rings, and unfortunately, today would have been the perfect day to release it because the films were released like 20 years ago today.
Wow. But you didn't edit it in time?
No, I'm a lazy bastard.
Sorry, bud.
It's all right. Anyway, so we got that. We got another Sand Batch episode coming, and very busy January for recording and releasing. So a lot of good stuff on the horizon.
We've got. I've got some other stuff coming out. I actually
My appearance on Gabe's grab bag has still not dropped.
Oh my God. Well, I'm recording with Gabe on Sunday, so we're hoping to have it out that week. And
Lamau.
I don't know what Gio's timeline is, but he's got something cooking that I'm on as well. And tomorrow night there might be a stream, but I'm not sure on that yet. So, in any case, Merry Christmas to all, Happy New Year, and we will see you in 2025.
We will not walk in fear one of another. We will not be driven by fear into an age of unreason if we dig deep in our history and our doctrine, and remember that we are not descended from fearful men, not from men who feared to write, to associate, to speak, and to defend the causes that were for the moment unpopular. We must not confuse dissent with disloyalty. Good night.